Hello and welcome back to another Total Football on EFD. Absolutely massive game for your viewing pleasure tonight. We've got Chelsea and Ajax. And joining me tonight, we've got Sam Obaseki. How are you, mate?
Yes, I'm good, bro.
Looking forward to the return leg after that win in Amsterdam?
Yes, I am. I'm very excited, you know.
Confident?
Yeah, I'm quite confident.
Sound nervous.
Good.
Running scared, almost.
I like it. And Hamill, you are our Ajax analyst tonight. How confident do you think Erik ten Hag's men will be?
Might be light on the analysis because I've just eaten a whole pizza and I feel like I'm in
a
carb coma. But they've been extremely good recently, haven't they? The return leg against Chelsea, their only defeat, their only blemish in 17 matches. And against Pek Zwolle and Feyenoord, they scored 8 goals, only 2 in reply. So they're bang at it recently, and I'm expecting sparks to fly. Pretty good against English teams as well, but I don't want to bring that trivia to the table because McCubbin, I believe, has a quiz at half-time.
He does indeed. He does indeed. And McCubbs, can you explain your role to the good people tonight?
I am on the social corner. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
social
areas,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, first time ever, so give me some support.
Call it what you want. Do you want to rename it?
I can't think of a name right now, but I'll think of one throughout. I'm going to be taking in your hot questions and relaying them to the good men on the sofa tonight. I've already got a few noted down from Twitter. Thanks for sending those in. So yeah, keep them coming in the comments, and the best ones will get a shout out.
Good man,
Yeah.
good man. Yeah, we've got about 15 minutes to kick off, and there's no better place than to start with the big talking point from Chelsea's lineup, which is Kante returning. Sam, how excited are you to see the Frenchman back in action?
No, I'm very excited. I'm happy that he's not starting as well. It means that we're not
No,
desperate.
he is starting.
He's not.
My
No,
bad.
he's
No, he's not. It's Jorginho and
Yeah,
Kovacic.
Jorginho and Kovacic. That's right. And they're highlighting them right now.
The big
Yeah,
talking point is that Kante's on the bench. Okay? It's after work. We've done a full day's work. Drop him out.
No, but it's good. It's good to have him back. But I'm happy that we're not desperate for him. Like Kovacic and Jorginho have been balling out. The highlights that they're just showing now is just literally how they've been controlling games. It's just beautiful to watch. Like
Yeah,
genuinely.
particularly in that game against Watford. I mean, both of them came in for a lot of praise, understandably. Jorginho with that phenomenal ball. What do you make of Jorginho this season?
That
ball. He was criticised heavily last year.
He was wrongfully criticised because the English fans didn't understand his role. His role is not to get goals and assists. It's to dictate plays, to control the team's pace and movement. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why he's so important. But now this year, I think he's taken a bit more of like a leadership role, and you can see the youngsters fully feel him. So yeah, man, that's my guy, man. Yeah. Look at that assist.
Do you not think he just didn't suit the system that Sarri was playing at Chelsea, or at least he was getting caught out more, like defensively?
He was definitely getting caught out more, but his role's not changed as much. I think Kovacic is coming to his own a bit more as well, which has helped. But yeah, no, I think Georgie's been.
Do you remember the game against Arsenal when I just habitually lean forward to speak into these? I'm just going to be looking at this for the rest of the night and not the game. Do you remember that game where Unai Emery put Aaron Ramsey on Jorginho and it completely shut him down? I feel like that was in the opening third of the season, and everyone adopted that tactic from there on in. And it was like they just suffocated Chelsea's supply line, and it was really massively detrimental to the whole side, wasn't it? But he didn't get any assists last season. I think he probably should have had about 5. So I think we're just seeing a true representation of his influence now. I think he was still very good in various parts last season.
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps having such a mobile striker to aim at as well in Tammy Abraham. I don't think Giroud or Higuain was
definitely not Higuain.
Giving enough from January onwards for Jorginho's style of play. Hamill, from an Ajax perspective, who should the people be watching out for tonight? Who are their key danger men?
Well, I just watched the extended highlights of the Pek Zwolle game and the Feyenoord game, and when Hakim Ziyech gets the ball, he either has... It looks like he's playing with children, basically. He either has all the time in the world, or people are just in complete trepidation of him. I think he's averaging over 5 shots a game as well. He pretty much has the freedom of the Netherlands at this point, the Eredivisie. So it would be silly to give him time and space to do his thing. Neres, I think he's starting in the 4-3-3 tonight. If memory serves me correctly. He's very pacey, very direct. Likes to come inside, a little bit shot shy, but no, he seems to be coming into his own this season. In and out of the squad last year, wasn't he? I think despite a very decent amount of goals and assists, a limited amount of minutes when you consider his ability. And other than that, it's quite a consistent lineup, isn't it? They've got Tagliafico, who's been outstanding in the Champions League of late, left back. Daley Blin's probably had one of the most underrated starts to domestic football in the best of the rest in Europe's top leagues. So, yeah, they're a real tidy outfit. Obviously lost a little bit of steel through the middle. But yeah, I think let's see how Veltman and the other kind of stand-ins fare in this game. Sergio Dest on the bench, very excited about him.
Yeah, he's definitely got a massive future ahead of him.
I haven't really seen him ball, you know. Is he like serious?
I've only caught really clips of him on Twitter, but he looks phenomenal, really. But I haven't seen him play a full 90 as of yet. But yeah, again, a massive prospect. But I think he's just announced that he's committed himself to the US men's national team as well.
How old is he again?
I think he's about 20.
Maybe a little bit younger than that.
Yeah,
actually.
so I mean, it's great for them with the likes of Pulisic coming through, who we've obviously got to talk about because the guy's hit top form in recent weeks.
I never doubted him, you know. Okay,
You're a believer?
Maybe, a week. I doubted him for a week, yeah, but he's
doubt, bro.
Nah, you know what it is. You know what it is. He's the typical player that I like in it. Like he works off of the ball really well. Like when we're defending, you can see he's busting a gut to get the ball back. When we're counter attacking, you can see he's busting a gut to get into the box. When Tammy, literally his goal for Watford, he went inside where Tammy usually is. Got an easy goal. Like that's the type of thing that he's really good at.
You don't play for Dortmund unless you can manipulate that space.
Yeah.
That's their thing, right?
Yeah, and he's like, he could have easily just dropped his head. I remember there was a game he was playing when it was I think the last international break, and I think he got subbed, and this is when he was having a bit of a awkward time at Chelsea. He was on the bench and he was just literally sitting here like this, and I was thinking, gosh, like is he done already? But Lampard trusted in him, and I think Lamps is really good at getting these guys to like believe in him and believe in themselves as well.
He's a strong character as well.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a few interviews where he was sort of articulating how he moved to Germany at 15, 16, had to pick up the language, had to go to another school, broke in very early. Expectations were massive there. Part of a team that sort of failed to win the league despite being in a really promising position last year. So he's already got a lot of good experience under his belt. It seems like a good character.
Yeah, fair play. And I also rate the fact that Lampard seems to be picking on merit at the moment. Like if you're in form, you'll be in. If you're not, you'll have a place on the bench. There's no guarantees, which we've seen in Chelsea teams in of yesteryear. McCubs, who has impressed you most from this Chelsea squad, other than the likes of Kovacic and Jorginho and Pulisic that we've already mentioned? Any of the young players that particularly caught your eye?
I think Tomori's been great. I think we looked at his didn't really watch a whole lot of Derby last season, but looking at his stats last season, it was very impressive. Like he was one of the key members of that Derby squad, wasn't he? Really good at playing out from the back, which is what kind of Lampard tried to do with that side. But didn't think he was going to adapt to the Premier League that quickly. Like young centre backs, classically will struggle with that step up to the Premier League. And he hasn't as much. He's still quite raw, but generally speaking, he's impressed
picking
massively.
it up fast. He's picking it up fast.
Really picking it up.
Zuma's been good recently as well, man.
Yeah.
Like people should
Recovered
give
well,
Zuma his props because he had one dreadful game against United.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, he's bottling his first team chance at Chelsea yet again," and I think that's.
But I think that's
too much.
Like I think it's good in the sense that we've got so much competition in certain areas. Like centre back now, we've got Christensen. He's back now. He's on the bench. We've got Rudiger. He's coming back, and if he's fully fit, he can easily be a first option. So the fact that these guys know that people are coming back and they can take their positions, you can see that they there's just always them looking over their shoulder I want to stay in this position.
Yeah, it should be a lot of healthy competition, and a Rudiger Tomori centre-back partnership, I think is something to potentially get really excited about. That could be a duo for years to come. McCubs, let's get in our first fan question in of the night.
Well, on the subject of Chelsea, we are watching them tonight after all. SL Barcelona has asked, if Chelsea finish in the top 4 and even with a trophy, but it's not necessarily, necessary, can we say that Lampard is one of the best young coaches in the world, like Marco Rose, Nagelsmann, etc.?
Oh, but what do you take on this? If you get top 4, would he be in the reckoning?
100%. To get top 4 is an achievement in itself, and with the squad that he's got, and the fact that there's other teams around him like United, Arsenal, Leicester that have all added to their
sound like
squads.
Wenger.
Nah, like this is just the reality because Wenger said
I'm
that
just
after his ninth season. Like this is Lamps' first, and everyone writ him off. Everyone was saying, if he gets top 4, he'll be lucky. Like, now he's looking like he's still early, but he's looking like he's comfortably like in and around.
Might be the third best side consistently. Yeah. No, I've got to say I'm really impressed with him. I think I got it slightly wrong. I mean, his win percentage and particularly his clean sheet record at Derby wasn't that impressive.
What was you done?
Well, I just didn't. I thought it was maybe a bit early for him, to be totally honest. This Chelsea
I think
job.
it was a sensible thing to do to raise question marks whether he was of the level.
Yeah, and I mean they'd obviously lost Hazard, who'd scored I think contributed about 40% of their league goals last year. It was difficult to see where their goals were going to come from. I think I slightly underestimated Tammy Abraham as well. So massive credit to Lampard in integrating these players so quickly and having faith in these youngsters. But I think we also maybe underestimated players that were already there. The impact of that midfield. I mean, Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic, they've really stepped up this year, or at least the latter two. Everyone bar Kante because he was already phenomenal. And it does make such a difference. And then they do have some good players smashed around that side. So
and
maybe we
Kepa.
slightly underestimated that.
Kepa
I think
as well.
best young manager in the world, I think it's a step too far though.
I mean, we are in match day 11. I think Chelsea was still unbeaten at this point last season. So let's not get too carried away. Not that I want to, derail the Lampard bandwagon. It's great to see him do well because he's an extremely likeable guy, and I don't think he was ever going to do a catastrophic job. I think people like us were probably saying that 5th or 6th kind of beckoned, given that he was inexperienced at the top level, given they'd lost the top goal scorer, all those things you mentioned previous. And there is a lot of top clubs at the moment that just aren't competent. And this Chelsea, they're not exceptional, but they're very competent. And they're cashing in on Tottenham being awful, Man United being awful, Arsenal being awful. So I think they're good. If you can secure Champions League football, that'll be exceeding expectations and definitely warrants another year. Yeah.
I feel what you're saying, but at the same time, it's not even the fact that okay, we can say we're exceeding expectations because everyone thought that we would be
6-ish.
Yeah, 6-ish. Yeah.
But
It's the fact that we've been playing we started the season poor. Very poor. There was questions against Tammy. There was questions against so many players, but we rode that bad time. And now every performance that you see is we're maturing. Even the game against Watford. If we didn't concede that goal, it would have been a clean 2-0 win. And they didn't really trouble us. So in last season, even though we had better players, certain games I'll go into and I wouldn't be as confident. Now, I'm very confident.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 7 away wins in a row, which is really impressive because that was where you were sort of struggling at the beginning of the year. And it was games like Sheffield United, you were drawing 2-2 at home. I think you struggled against Norwich as well. And everyone was like, oh, this Chelsea side, are in that period of adaptation. But I think since then it's been very, very impressive. But I think it's a bit too early to say Lampard's one of the best young managers in the world. He's only 40.
He said
is he
could
41?
be. He said could be.
41,
if he hasn't
maybe
finished
in a
season,
couple of years.
don't
mix his words.
Mix his words. He said if he does finish top 4 and he gets a trophy, he'll be
And
up
actually,
there.
41 isn't as young as some of those other managers. Obviously, like Nagelsmann. Is
Is he in
Nagelsmann
his-
still in his 30s
Yeah,
or so?
he is.
So,
Is Lampard in his 40s? I think
like
late
he-
30s.
yeah, and I think
Probably playing until 37, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Shall I check that out quickly?
Woo!
If he said
Come on, the
41,
boys.
41 does ring a bell. for
Does
me,
it?
But yeah.
Well,
Let us know in the comments what age is Frank Lampard. That'll
Yeah,
give
Can
mean,
us-
reveal that
it's-
he is 41.
Ah, there you
well
go.
done, dude.
Yeah.
Turned 41 in June, 20th of June.
Mad.
Halfway to 42.
It looks pretty good for 41.
Oh, here we go. Lineups are out. Oba, what do you make of Alonso coming back in at left back?
I'm worried. Very worried. I can't lie to you. Just because of the team that Ajax are coming out with. It looks like they're coming out with a very
All
attacking
guns blazing.
team. Yeah. And if he's not on it from minute 1, we are in trouble. That's what I'm saying. But I'm seeing Tomori right back. I don't know if that's them getting it wrong. But if Tomori
I think
does
sometimes they mix up the
Okay,
lineups
yeah,
on
but-
these.
So, yeah,
I
so-
don't think Willian will be playing in a midfield 3. Surely they'll go 4-2-3-1 as well. But who knows? We wait and see.
Alonso, if he starts the game all right, then I'll feel okay. But if someone beats him early on, we're in trouble in it because his head goes down very quickly.
Could be a big afternoon for him. I think Emerson's slightly unlucky to. Well, he was very unlucky with that injury because he's playing so well at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And then came back into it. But Chris, we're seeing the Ajax lineup. Any players that have sort of really sort of surprised you in terms of their adaptation from last year to this year? Someone that's maybe stepped up in the absence the absence of De Jong and De Ligt.
Well, Quincy Promes had a lot to prove after that sort of failed spell at Sevilla, and he scored a couple of goals the other week. Like I mentioned before, Veltman has big shoes to fill at centre half. And I don't know much about Martinez. I'd be lying if I said I did in midfield.
neither,
But they
to be
do
fair.
have options from the bench. The Alvarez came on the other day, and I think someone took his tooth out with their elbow. But yeah, there's Marin, there's Dest on the bench as well. It's not as strong as last year. But yeah, I think Ziyech will still be looking to do some damage.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. They've got Big Classy and Huntelaar on the bench as well. Exciting to see him on possibly one of his final Champions League seasons. McCubs, what are the comments saying? Have we got, we've got a question there?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, a lot of.
And
a
we're
lot
off,
of
by
Ajax,
the way.
There are a lot of Ajax fans just saying Ajax. So,
Welcome aboard.
Can they give me a
welcome.
profile on Martinez, please?
Yeah, let us know.
I don't
Seriously.
really know that
But
much about him.
If you can be bothered, put it in here and I'll relay it to Hamill.
Exactly.
Well played.
There is someone, Oliver Boyson. Obviously, there were some early kickoffs today. He has asked thoughts on Barcelona drawing 0-0 at home to Slavia.
Oh, is it the game over?
Yeah.
Valverde out. I've said it from the beginning. I'm going to
There's our
carry
headline.
on saying it. That guy needs to go. If you can't get the best out of Griezmann, Messi and Dembele as your front three, then you're the problem, not the team. They're not playing the Barcelona way. And I know that obviously people are going to say, oh, it's the Barcelona way. We know the Barcelona way. Yeah, they kick very attractive football. And
do.
Technical term, that.
like
They kick it. They kick it well.
You should go for the Ten Hag, by the way. I'm just looking at the screen now, thinking you flesh
Straight
this,
up.
flesh this out. No, but flesh this out so it's got a bit of length.
I'm actually considering it, but I'm trying to grow my hair for my sister's wedding because my mum's been dropping comments for about 6 months.
Oh,
So-
come on, Mrs. Critchley.
I know, Lizzie,
You know,
get
if
your
you-
act together.
if you
But
got-
I think I might go skinhead maybe next year.
If
Actually.
you got a little bit ripped as well, you'd be quite an imposing
A
figure.
little bit ripped? What do you mean? I'm already.
Those guys.
That's not bad.
So I haven't hit the gym for about 5 years. Maybe Eric Ten Hag. Let me know in the comments whether I should go all off for 2020. But yeah, Ajax on the
Duke
attack
Hag.
so far. And what we were talking about Valverde and Barcelona. Yeah, because we caught a bit of that as we're sort of preparing for this stream. And Barcelona, to be fair, created some good opportunities, but it was tend to be like the final pass was a
there
bit
much
behind them. There was a great moment when Griezmann, Vidal, and Messi were running through. And Griezmann could have laid in Vidal so easily, and the pass was just behind him. It then went to Messi. And it was
all the way! It's gone all the way, baby!
Not a good start.
Ajax.
I'm sorry.
Promes.
Love
From
that little
so
dance from
wide
Promes.
out as well.
Quincy Promes.
1 minute 57
What is
in,
Kepa doing
Ajax
there?
are ahead.
They forgot
what's
about
happened
him
to
in
Kepa?
La Liga. They
Oh.
shunned him in Sevilla, and now he's the scourge of Stamford
so
Bridge.
That was
Oh.
very
Scourge
Peter
of Stamford
Drury.
Bridge,
That was
yeah,
like
that's
that
good.
Roman commentary. I
And
love
that-
that. Right, we've got the replay.
From the
Hamill.
ruins
Wait,
of...
what's Kepa
Hamill,
doing
what
here?
happens here?
What is Kepa
Oh.
doing there?
I mean,
you
I
cannot get beaten there.
I think Tammy should clear this, though.
Yeah.
I think McCummins just taking the words out of my mouth, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you can't get beat if you, at your near post there.
Oh, it
but
does take a flick
but
of Tammy.
Tammy, fam, cleared that, bro. Why are you putting sticking your lip? Like,
Oh.
no, but Kepa, that's poor positioning. For a keeper,
Okay,
but-
so the free kick has been whipped in by Promes.
Oh my
Tadic has gone for it. I
days,
think
man.
that means
Starting
Tammy Abraham has
so
taken his
bad.
eye off of it, and then Kepa's been beaten at his near post. It's bad from Abraham, but
Go
it's,
on,
but
go
it's
on.
just as
straight
bad
back.
from
Let's get a goal
Kepa.
straight back. I don't mind.
Mason, Matt.
Go on then.
Oh!
Pulisic, penalty!
Pep!
Yes!
What
a game!
Let's go.
What a game!
Let's go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
This
Let's
is
go.
crazy.
Don't need to
This
check
is
the VAR.
crazy.
Don't.
What a game!
Allow the hands. You don't need the VAR.
I love a
Don't need
VAR
the
check. Let's get VAR.
that,
It's a plan.
get that,
It's a
get
pen.
that.
It's a bloody pen.
Cannot believe this. What a start to the game. So Promes literally scored from a free kick. Chelsea went up the other end, and they brought down
That is
Pulisic.
100%
And to
a
me,
pen.
that looks
Hold
like a
on.
penalty. What do you guys reckon, lads?
Yes.
Catches both
Fam,
ankles.
you can't slide that way and expect a man not to fall over. That is a pen.
Lamps knows.
Yeah.
Lamps knows. We know. That's a penalty.
That's awful from Veltman. And we spoke about how he was filling the league's shoes. The league was
Oh my
particularly impactful in
days.
Europe. And now, Jorginho.
He's a good
Oh,
penalty taker.
the man of the moment.
Quick,
Onana-
Sabocchio.
Onana's my guy though. I really like the Onana, but please don't save this dog.
And Nana's supposed to be
Onana.
6'3", by the way.
Is he
which
going to do
I'm-
that little skip in the run-up? Oh, I love the skip.
Well, we look at where his head is compared to the.
Me and George
Crossbar, we
were,
should know.
when we were watching the Pex Volley game, we were debating whether he's actually 6'3" or whether
he doesn't
the
actually look
scientists have got it wrong.
Here we go. Jorginho steps up.
Yes! Come on!
Well
Light
played.
work!
Very
Light work.
coolly
Hey, guys,
done.
I'm
Very
sorry about
coolly
that,
done.
but light work. Yeah?
Sent in the
Light
wrong
work.
way.
Let's go. But I told you, who was I saying when I was coming down? This is just going to be this game now. It's going to be back and forth.
I hope it is.
I
really
want
hope it is.
I want to
1
see
all already.
I want to see the build up to that to that foul again. It looks like Mount and Pulisic linked up very well. And I thought in the
Hit him with the eyes.
Watford game there was the signs of a really promising relationship starting. It looked like that was happening in the build up to this. Jorginho steps up confidently, puts Onana the other
a
way.
good pen to
1-1 after about 4 minutes, lads.
Oh,
Come on, Georgie.
Crazy.
I love you, bro. I love you.
promised 2 goals.
Hey,
nice.
This
Nice.
is
Part of the night.
Pulisic.
Hey. Any more,
I'm
name-related
going, I'm
puns?
going.
Get any other
But
Chelsea
it's time for
Ajax
someone to
puns
mount
in the
an
comments.
attack.
Yay!
Hey! Oh,
I didn't get that. I
I'm
didn't
an
get that.
Ajax
What's
fan,
that?
bro. It's
I'm
something
trying to think of
about
another
mounting
pun,
an
but I
attack.
can't.
Oh, right, nice. Yeah, I like that. Oh, here we go.
I mean, this is actually exactly what I meant, though.
Oh,
Corner!
Yeah.
Blimey,
This
it's
is gonna
all
be
going on at
madness.
Stamford Bridge, lad. Zach, who is there,
this
must be, chewing off what remains of his fingernails. What a start. 1-all.
What's going on?
Woo! Who's stepping up for this one? Promes again?
I think it might be Neres.
so
Oh, it might be
mad,
David Neres.
though.
What a start, though. McCubs, are they going mental
so
in the
over
comments
there.
section?
They're going a little bit mental. Someone said let's go. Someone says let's go. Someone
get
said
it.
Here we go, we got a
Jorginho.
Oh.
Here we go. Smash it.
Oh, you really
You know, you're always looking for that someone to come out.
Whenever
out the camera
whenever a ball goes to that, I just
Here-
instantly
here we
think
go.
Giovanni
Oh,
Bronckhorst.
well
Do you remember in that 2010 World Cup where
Yeah.
he went to that Severian and he just pinged it top bins? Oh.
There is one guy in the comments though. Obviously, we've been speaking about the Chelsea midfield quite a lot. Jorginho just stuck away that pen. Mason Mount very good in the build-up as well.
Kante in the squad, as I crucially mentioned earlier.
As well. So yeah, very much the running theme. Janai Thiessen asked, "How will RLC? I'm assuming he means Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
yeah.
How will he fit in once he's back?"
I think
Other.
he will
Bench probably.
interchange. Yeah, he'll start on bench, but he'll interchange with Mount because there's some games that are a bit too physical for Mount sometimes.
Okay.
And he does get overrun sometimes when he's playing. That's what I would do anyway. Like in the games that are a bit more physical, need like a bit more,
Brute force.
brute
yeah.
force. I think that's when RSC will play.
I kind of agree with you, but I mean, obviously he'll be delighted with, the performances of the
options,
likes
though.
of
It's
Tammy
amazing.
and Mount.
There we go.
But it's a corner. But I mean, it does put massive pressure on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Even he's a couple of years older than Mount and Abraham. He was the Chelsea captain in the youth team. He's captained these guys in the past, and now he's got a real arse to get back into this team, especially with Kovacic playing so well, Jorginho playing so well as well. So it looks like it's going to be Kante, Jorginho, and maybe one other. And Barkley also was fits and starts at the start of the year as well. So it's now a really deep squad because these young players have taken to the Premier League so easily. And
It's a good problem to have, though.
great problem to have, I agree.
It's a good problem to have. Like when everyone's back, like I was saying it from the beginning, but now the fact that everyone's balling out and they're not even back yet, and they don't need to rush back as well. Like the same thing we were saying about Kante, don't need to rush back because we're just so good right now.
Yeah, you're in a very good moment.
Joe Wilder last summer.
Someone needed to put out that fire there.
Yeah.
Extinguish
I
that.
do. I don't know
Extinguish
what
those
you
hopes.
guys think is.
William.
I don't know what you guys think as non-Chelsea fans though, but this is the most I've liked a Chelsea team ever. I think. Like I genuinely really, I start to really, I love the young players. I'm really enjoying Lampard as a manager. It just feels a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I've never really particularly liked Chelsea.
I think it's
very
always. I feel like
We're
it's
a lovely
always
team,
easy
man.
to like a team that has good young English players.
I think it must be that, yeah.
Like Pochettino Spurs when they first really kind of hit form were so lovable. I really liked Conte's first season at Chelsea. I actually quite like that Chelsea team. Just 'cause I really like. I think mainly just because I really like Conte and the way that they.
You were a big Victor Moses fan as well, weren't you? As well.
Was I? Yeah, apparently.
People took to Conte and they didn't necessarily take to. Oh, that was a slight deflection, wasn't it, from Abraham? They didn't necessarily take to Sarri. I mean, people were raving about Chelsea in the first 10 games of the season, like we said, and the fact that they might challenge, the City-Liverpool dynamic, but never really materialised. And he's not an extremely likeable guy, very cagey in post-match interviews.
Who's sorry?
Sarri, and he persisted with his tactics despite, the fans
Very
disagreeing
stubborn.
with him, which is ultimately the right thing to do. You should be swayed by the fans. But I mean, the great Chelsea side had a bit of a siege mentality, didn't they? Like Jose Mourinho, John Terry. There were sort of these characters that they were like antagonistic, weren't they? But
That's great from Neres. That.
Yeah, Lampard's probably just a lovely
Just
bloke.
a lovely guy.
Doesn't
man.
he
You
write
can't-
children's books? How can you hate the
Does
man?
can't-
indeed.
you
Yeah, he
can't.
wrote pirate books, I think.
Swear down.
Books around pirates.
I was going to say pirate
Oh, not
books. like-
pirated books.
Yeah, like
yeah.
pirating
books.
with...
You wouldn't steal a Lampard book. No, just children's book. But I think the one that I saw was about pirates.
One that you read from back to front.
Yeah, exactly. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, you got to like Lampard. And also, I wouldn't say that Sarri sort of walked away from the job. He wasn't really fired, but they've sort of been vindicated in that Lampard's not only
so
taken to the
happy
job
against
so
him.
well, but it just sometimes great managers don't fit in jobs. I don't think Sarri, with the benefit of hindsight, was probably right for Chelsea. And I'm not saying it's vindicated because of this, but his Juve side have also started pretty shakily this year. I know they're top of Serie A, but they're top of Serie A, but not playing well by any stretch. I mean, even the most diehard Juventus fan wouldn't say they're playing well. Struggling to score by, win by more than 1 goal margins. Even at the
doesn't know
weekend
his
against
best-
Torino,
best-
doesn't seem
best
to know his
lineup.
best lineup. But I think he will. I think it will come good there. But it's just been a shaky start to life in Turin for Sarri.
I mean, we are saying that, okay, there's no Eden Hazard, but Sarri effectively finished the season with a trophy, another cup final, and 4th place. I mean, if Lampard achieved anywhere near that, we'd be absolutely raving about him. So, I mean, he's doing this Eden Hazard-less, isn't he? So that is the main difference. But I think we quietly forget what a very good first year that Sarri had.
No, because
ultimately.
he was so negative, man. Like, he was just so...
Negative, negative in his persona, but not negative in his tactics.
Oh my God! What a run!
my
Was that
days.
Kovacic?
Yeah.
Oh,
Kovacic has been on fire.
that was
Like, he's been
naughty.
so
You
good
know,
to
his
watch so
dribbling
far.
has turned into... Like, he's always been good at dribbling, but...
Just,
that's-
we say, that was rubbish. Sub him off at half time, I say.
Lampard was talking after the Watford game, saying that he loves his ability to drive past Tammy Abraham, past the final striker, and that is sort of what he used to do. And you can kind of tell he's maybe demanding
He's
that
him
of
confidence,
Kovacic.
Yeah, he's like, do it. Like, we see in training, because he's always been able to do it. Last year, he seemed a bit like less confident, which is fair because he wasn't really playing as much. But now he's just.
I feel like he was a
thriving,
bit deeper last year as well.
Yeah, he was.
I felt like he did pay a fair amount, but it was always the same thing. He'd be taken off after 55 or 60 minutes, no matter how well he was playing. And it can't have been great for his confidence. It was always Kovacic off, Barkley on.
Oh God.
Oh, that was not a good pass from Tammy.
was
a rogue. Off as well.
Selling Marcus Alonso a little
What the hell was that,
long there. But Oba, we need to talk about another experienced player who's played really well, I think, this year, at least compared to previous years, in Willian, because he got a lot of stick for years from Chelsea fans. What have you made of his start to 1920?
The only reason he's got a lot of stick is because he's always been good, but he just doesn't contribute to goals or assists enough.
Wasn't he a player of the year in Mourinho's final season?
Yeah. That's why I've gotten to him. I can't lie. Like, a lot of fans have gotten to him, but it's just the fact that we know that if he did contribute to goals and assists, like, we wouldn't be in sticky situations. Like, we depended on Hazard last season when. If Willian got his 2 goals here and there, or 1 goal or assist here and there, then we wouldn't have been like in those situations. You get what I'm saying? But now I think because the young G's have come through, and he's like, okay, cool. I'm the old. Ooh, ref.
Look at him
That's
there,
good try.
running through midfield.
I'm the oldest here. Let me show them how it's done. And I think he's coming more on that flex rather than like shying away or like being okay with being like the second.
You also
man.
hear that Giroud, obviously not happy with his lack of game times, but has been really helpful to Tammy. I think you told me that.
Yeah, because like that's what I'm saying. I like the attitude and like the energy around the Chelsea squad at the moment. It's like people are accepting that we're better off just fighting together rather
Working
than
together.
there being
factions.
Yeah.
I like it. Fair. McCubs, what are the good people making? And actually, just a quick reminder.
Kovacic.
13 minutes.
Oh,
here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Finish it!
Yeah!
Is it off? I don't know if
I
it's
think he's
off.
off. He's off.
Oh,
I think he
don't
was
know.
off as well. I think he knows he was off. But
This
that
might
is
go to
another
the-
great
I don't mind that, though.
surge.
I don't
That's
mind
a
that,
great
though.
surge from.
I
cover.
thought he must be off just because of the reaction of the Ajax defenders. I think they must have known, but
Yeah,
Very
he's
good.
off.
He's
slightly off. But what a pass as
Fantastic
well!
win, that.
I like the finish as well. Really
good
confident.
finish though. Confident.
That was a great line from Ajax.
Yeah.
I mean, Chelsea are playing really well, I think. It's just been a highly entertaining game 30 minutes in. And if you are joining us for the first time on Total Football, just a quick reminder even, to subscribe to Eurofootball Daily and hit that notification bell. We do Total Football streams like this every single match week or whatever it's called, match game week. And we've got Ajax on the
what's
attack.
a touch for
Oh, no.
Tadic.
That touch
Oh,
was mad.
Chris, talk us through what sort of went
I'm
down
not sure
there.
who that is a long ball from.
It's beautiful, though.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, of
Of
course.
course it's Blind.
Of course it's Daily Bin, the one and only. And Tadic kills that in its path, brings it back inside on his left foot, and he's put it over.
What a turn, though.
And considering how good he's been away from home in the Champions League for Ajax, you expect him to get on the score sheet tonight. And that was his big moment.
Yeah, I think I saw earlier.
Still leaning in for this, by the
He's
way.
been- I like it. The sensitive touch. He's been involved in about 8 of their last 11 Champions League away games I saw pre-match. So Tadic, the key man for Ajax, you'd expect going forward. Although they've got another free kick in the area where Promes scored the first one.
Get Tammy out of the box.
Tammy's still going near post. McCubs, just before we have this free kick, have you got a little question?
I've actually got a Kepa-orientated question, just
Oh.
to go with the theme of what's about to happen here.
I'm not going to answer it. This free kick's over.
And it comes. Yeah, PB. It actually comes from Zeus.
Zeus.
You know, the Greek god.
Welcome, Zeus.
And he's asked, what do you think on Kepa, considering his abysmal clean sheet record so far? Was he worth the money?
Lightning question, that.
Well played, Tammy.
Oh, nice.
Fire question, but
He's actually got a
there we
lightning
go.
bolt in his
Well
his
played.
thing as well.
Oba, what do you think of Kepa?
I like him.
Yeah?
I love him even.
You love it?
Yeah, I love him.
Okay.
I love him. And like the clean sheet record is not.
Right, he's made 33 saves and conceded something like 16 goals, Pat put in his Premier League explained script.
Yeah, but Pat
Shut
just
that
don't
up.
like him. He just don't like him because of his hair.
Are you saying he's skewing?
I'm telling you, he just
You
said
saying he's
trimmed.
skewing the stats?
Has he ever
Yeah.
noticed that it's because of the hair?
He literally said, like.
I mean, that
can't
isn't
remember
beyond
having a
Pato
conversation.
for sure. That
Exactly,
isn't
you know it's
beyond
not.
him. But I don't think he's. You can't. How else can you frame that other than that Kepa is having a bad season so far?
I did a piece on Kepa recently as well for like a part.
What
of the
was his
script.
stats?
And his stats weren't great. Yeah,
Is it?
They weren't great. That was about a month ago. But
I do like him. But he's certainly not in the top 10 goalkeepers in the world.
No.
Nah, he doesn't. He's not there yet, but he will be 100% because he's got the heart. That's what you need. That's what you need. I'm telling you, because even at that, yeah, fair
full
enough.
TalkSport.
Fair enough. And the thing is, he's not making like mistakes to a certain extent. Like if he was making mistakes, yeah, I would understand. Like if he was dribbling out and losing the ball, whatever. It's just certain his reactions to certain things. Like even that goal, he could have potentially saved that. I understand Tammy stuck his leg out, but he could have saved it. Those things you can work on, but see what.
Van der
that-
Beek.
that is
liquid.
cheeky. Here we go.
Liquid from Van der Beek.
All right, to Tagliafico.
No, I just think you could upgrade him fairly easily at this moment in time. And that's not to say I don't believe he's got potential.
Nah, he's got potential to be the best in the
I
world.
just
to
think-
be fair, there
Remember
were
I said it as well.
similar
Remember I said
conversations.
it. Remember I
I
said
think you
it.
could upgrade him, but for
Yeah.
what was he, the world's record keeper? It's going to take a lot to get an upgrade, I think. At least 50, 60 million. I mean, McCub, sorry I interrupted you. What do you reckon?
Oh, that's fine. I was going to say, to be fair to him, like similar kind of conversations were happening around De Gea when he first came to
Exactly.
United. And I do think, like generally speaking, I think Kepa's a pretty good shot stopper. Maybe not quite at the level that De Gea was then, because even then De Gea was a world class shot stopper. But you've seen Kepa pull off some match winning saves.
At least to the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. From Ben Foster, wish that had gone in, But yeah,
Well
and
played.
De Gea's main criticism of De Gea back then was, he couldn't really command his area so well. I think we've seen, Kepa's a bit vulnerable to that as well. So I don't know. Yeah, I definitely give him a chance. But right now he hasn't proved his worth.
And he's not been.
He's still yet.
But
to
you
prove
can't
it.
stop looking at the figure because everyone needs to just be honest with themselves.
Yeah.
We lost our number one keeper, and there was no keepers out there that were worthy enough to play for us.
Look, I'll give
Worthy.
you this.
Panicked.
I'll give you this.
And,
He's not been a downgrade on Courtois. Like I think he's of that level that Courtois was at in his final couple of seasons. But he's still not played better than Courtois' best. I don't think he's approached not anywhere near those levels. That's maybe a little bit critical. But yeah, you've not downgraded, but you have paid a lot to stay at the same sort of level, and that was when Courtois wasn't at his best.
I think
was
as a, he's been solid, he's been fine. I think he's made some exceptional saves. That save against Watford, for example, he's also played very well for Spain on
it? Save
occasion.
against Watford was ridiculous.
But for that price, you can say you want world class. You want world class for 10 years. I get that, but I think you want pretty close to perfect now for that price.
No, you can't.
I agree.
Stop saying the price thing because
But
the
you could've-
situation we were in.
But you could have got
Any club, we would have got
Panic.
we would have got
Panic.
Fabianski for 100 mil if it came down to it. Because any club was trying to.
Fabianski's a better goalkeeper right
Chill.
now. Fabianski
I'm
is
not-
a
I'm not-
better
I'm not talking.
goalkeeper right
I'm not
now.
talking.
Let
That's
us know your
just-
thoughts
that's
of that
just-
in the
that's
comments.
just
I'm
disrespectful.
tempted to agree.
That's
What
disrespectful.
do you mean?
Fabianski is a better keeper.
What do you mean he's a better? In what
He is.
sense? In what sense?
In what
Fabianski's
sense
in the
isn't
top 5
it?
keepers in the league.
What'd you say?
Agreed.
Fabianski's in the top 5 keepers in the league.
Oh, here we go. Yes! Come on!
I don't know. I think that might be offside.
No, please.
No.
It's not.
Double
Oh.
for Promes.
Don't mute the celebrations.
Ah! He's got
What a
he's
ball
got
into the box
Kepa.
as well.
Kepa could do nothing like that. It was not Kepa
Ah,
related.
Courtois would have kept that.
Yeah, a
No,
72
he
million keeper would have.
Oh,
Fabianski
what a game
would have
we've got
read
so
that.
far. Hamel, talk us through it.
Okay, so it is a wonderful cross from
He's on as well.
Is it Ziyech?
Ziyech again. Ziyech loves to take up those positions on the left-hand side. A little bit like, with Mahrez and De Bruyne, where one will run it and then he pulls it back, and then it's Quincy Promes. I think it's David Neres that pulls it back for
Ziyech.
Ziyech,
yeah.
and then Ziyech puts an awesome ball in. But lots to do still.
Oh, could Kepa have done better? No, I'm joking.
Kepa could have
A
done.
lot to do still from
that's-
Promes.
yeah,
there.
That
And
is an absolutely filthy ball in.
and he's
from
guided
Ziyech.
it in with his ear.
So Azpilicueta's not lost his man per se, but Promes got the run of him behind him and just directed a perfect header in from all of 4 or 5 yards out. 2-1. We've seen 3 goals in the first 20 minutes. If you have just joined us for the first time on Total Football, remember to subscribe to Euro Football Daily and hit that notification bell. We look like we're in for an absolutely cracking game.
But that's what I mean. It's
Really?
it's just terrible defending. Like when Ziyech's cutting in,
Drop?
Just get onto him. Because
Oh, when
Ziyech's cutting in
But
on the edge of the box.
Okay, from the fullback then. But it's very
No,
it's
'cause
very
Mount
hard to
was
defend
with
that
him.
ball from a centre back's point of view.
No. I'm
Yeah,
saying. I'm not
okay.
saying. I'm not even saying Aspie because
So you
even
mean-
at that,
you mean
I'm
the
saying,
players who are on the left,
Yeah,
so
like
Marcus
get out to
Alonso's,
him. Give
yeah.
So
him.
who's playing on the left hand side in your midfield?
I think it's
Because they
Mark-
need to be helping
It's-
Alonso there
yeah,
because
yeah,
Neres
it's-
is on the over.
Mount has taken up that role to help him out because every time there's a player comes to Alonso, he's always dropping in. If you're gonna do it effectively.
He's not doing a lot of defending, man, at the moment. Must be a 4-2-3-1, right?
But I think both
Credit
sides
to
have
Ziyech,
looked
he
really
didn't have an
dangerous on the
awful
ball. I
space.
don't know about you guys, but I think this is just like we
just
haven't.
open.
It's not. It's been really open. It was open in the first game as well. To be fair, both midfields sort of running through at will. I think we've seen Donny van der Beek with really nice touches. Kovacic too. There looks like there's plenty more goals in this game. Just 2 minutes of awesome. Well, 2 moments of awesome quality from Ajax. Well, the ball in was for the first one absolutely exceptional.
Are you just going to keep
On the
talking to
conversation.
yourself? Yeah.
Well, I was sort of debating it, but the first goal was nice, but that second goal was absolutely awesome. And then, so it just looks like it's going to be an absolute thriller. But I think there's plenty more goals in it. McCubs, what are the people saying? What are they making of this?
They're not really saying an awful
Oh
lot.
my God, see
You
it.
could see a third.
Oh,
no.
Kepa.
Well out, Kepa.
Yeah.
Zeus
Really
has
well out.
replied to our Zeus has replied to our debate about Kepa. He says Kepa shown some of his class against Watford, but he's not consistent enough, and his working relationship with the defence seems rough.
He's also put greater than symbol, Fabianski in front of it,
Yeah,
and then
he's done that
Kepa.
as well, yeah.
So you've been done.
You got your own opinion.
He didn't actually say
Zeus,
that.
you've
been
got your
done.
own opinion. I understand.
You don't want to argue with the king of the gods, though. So
Oh,
I think we'll give it to
Gosh,
Zeus. Though.
Alonso.
McCubs, any fresh ones?
No, actually, just people saying Valverde out. That's from Narinder Kaur. Ebani Valentine said nice ball by Ajax. I think he means Ziyech there, but nice ball by Ajax.
Well,
Just
maybe.
giving them all credit for that. But,
Yeah, one thing we've got to talk about because it's sort of the topic of
Pulisic on the
the
left
topic
side?
of the week is
What man's in the hole?
Yeah.
is Kovac resigning at Bayern, and lots of people are talking about Erik ten Hag as a potential Bayern manager. Hamel, if you were a Bayern Munich fan, would you be happy with that, or who would you go for if you were a Bayern? If you were Bayern hierarchy, who would you be most happy with if you were a fan?
Yeah, it's very hard to judge, not just talent coming out of the Eredivisie, managerial talent too, because, De Boer's Ajax were all conquering, weren't they? But Ajax, no one had really made an impression on the European stage quite like them last season from the Netherlands in a long time. So, yeah, the brand of football they were playing was refreshing, wasn't it? And it was just great to see homegrown talents prosper once again in Europe's elite competition. A Ten Hag for me, if I was the Bayern hierarchy, I don't know. I think I'd give him until the end of the season, see how he does here as well. And if he excels domestically in Europe on the European front again, then you've got an easy rationale to kind of throw him in, haven't you? I'd probably bring Jupp Heynckes back for 6 to 8 months if he was willing to come out of retirement for the 15th millionth time.
It'd be his 5th spell in charge of Bayern.
but I don't think they're. Are they a hugely attractive proposition at the moment? There's still enough time, isn't there, to hound down Gladbach, Dortmund, Leipzig. But they've got a really tough run coming up. 3 top teams coming up.
I
And,
think it was Leverkusen.
and it
Gladbach,
might be the first time in a little while where they're not necessarily clear-cut favourites. So, I mean, do you want to come into that sort of a third of the way through the season if you're Ten Hag?
Well
I'm not
played,
sure.
man.
It depends what. Yeah, I kind of agree. It depends what sort of assurances you're given.
Keep
I
that
think
in. Yes, that's in.
I think they've only
Oh,
won.
Lino.
I think they've only won one of their last 4 league games. They've dropped from first to fourth, but it's still a phenomenal squad. But what they do have is not only a tough run of fixtures, but a bit of an injury crisis at the back. Nicolas Sula's out with an ACL injury. Luca Hernandez is out, and then Jerome Boateng is now going to be suspended because he got sent off against Eintracht Frankfurt at the weekend in that 5-1 sort of humbling. So I see your point about not the ideal time to take over at Bayern, but with their resources, with that playing squad, I think it's still so attractive. I'd probably go Allegri if I was totally honest, just because he's available. I think it'd be very difficult to get Ten Hag out.
Thank you. Well played.
Lovely. Who
Here
was
we
that?
go.
William?
Oh, Mount, man. Unlucky.
I also there's no shortage of managerial candidates in the bully right now, and Marco Rose, Julian Nagelsmann. You imagine is going to be tied down
Oh,
for
my
a
days.
long term. That's a foul.
Oh.
That's a foul.
That was not
David
good from
Neres
Alonso.
down with
Alonso,
what looks
don't
like
get
quite a
sucked in like that,
painful
dog.
That was
injury.
very silly.
What about Thomas Tuchel? If he doesn't extend his contract at PSG at the end of the season, they might be saying, "Listen, again, your bankers will come in, do a job, and you can pick it up at the end of the year," because he's still more likely to win the Champions League at Bayern than PSG.
Do you reckon even this year? I think PSG are looking really good for a
How often
potential
do we say that?
deep Champions League run. Yeah, it has been said before, but I think they're probably just more. I think they're probably more well-rounded
They are.
than Bayern at the
I
moment.
mean, there were times last season when he wasn't naming a full bench in Champions League games at PSG, wasn't there? And they've got Sarabia and Di Maria is in great form again.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily missed Neymar, which has been.
the problem in previous years.
I mean, they've been.
They have lost 3 times though, which is pretty nuts. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
considering
Like,
they
in
only
the
lost
league.
5 times in the league last year.
Was it Dijon at the weekend?
Dijon at the
Yeah.
weekend,
The
exactly.
first time they've ever beat them as well.
Yes, Dijon.
Oh, yeah,
Scrambling.
another
Kepa.
chance.
Scrambling.
Really scrappy. I think he would have made this
Corner.
We're so bad at defending set
I'm
pieces,
loving
you know.
these set pieces in from Ajax. Really nice whipped balls.
So on the subject, obviously that free kick got given away by Marcus Alonso. We've had Brian on the line at @bsloz
Right,
on
Brian.
Twitter. I don't know if you're watching, but you did send a question in to us on Twitter. But he's asked, would Ben Chilwell from Leicester be a good addition for Chelsea
Yes.
in the summer window?
Yes, please.
Yeah?
Please.
Would he be your number
What
one?
would you be willing to pay?
50 mil.
Nice. I think that's a completely fair price. I think Ben Chilwell, other than Andy Robertson, is probably
Well
the
played.
outstanding left back in the league. I can't really think of any other candidates. Benjamin Mendy when he's fully fit, but Ben Chilwell can seemingly do it all. He just makes football look he keeps football very simple, and he can do it just everything very effectively. I'm really impressed by Ben Chilwell, not just this year, but ever since he's come into that side. Although I think they do well to get him, Chelsea, just because I think Man City consistently rumoured with him.
Pulisic,
That's
what are you doing?
poor. That's poor.
I think we're
Do you think we're
favourites to
favourites
get
over
him.
City?
I think we are, you know.
Really?
Yeah, because they got...
Got Angelino and Benjamin Mendy, but
left backs.
yeah.
What are the big, like, obviously Sancho gets talked about as well. How much can you actually see Chelsea spending next summer? What's the figure?
I don't really know, man. I've been seeing 150 mil everywhere. That apparently we're looking to spend 150. I don't really know, because I don't think we need that many players.
Well, I mean,
It's easy to say that when you're in form, but like there's clearly like areas of the squad.
But even with players that are coming back, like I don't think we need that many players in a window.
Every Chelsea fan's convinced that Reece James is just going to be a world-class right-back as well.
It's,
Like,
I mean,
from
they
the
have
off.
been saying it for months.
Like
Zach's been
if,
saying it for
yeah,
months.
like
hasn't
if that doesn't happen, then you need a right-back.
Yeah, but we don't know
If
it's
Tammy
not
gets
gonna
injured, you
happen.
need a centre forward.
No, centre forward. Centre forward is what I think we need. Centre forward, a left back. A right back.
Aussie men scored for Lille. Nice.
Nice.
Good
I like it.
forwards.
That's massive in
That's
the
good.
context of this group as well.
No, I mean you're right in that give Reece James a chance, but also like I'm just saying that some people have him as the finished product already, and
No,
I'm just
definitely not. He's definitely
finding
not.
that hard to believe after one really really good season at Wigan.
Guys, that goal for Lille is actually really important, because then they'll go level on 4 points
Ref!
with Valencia, and Chelsea and Ajax. Chelsea, will remain on 6, and Ajax will go to 9.
Oh my God. That's
It looks,
brilliant.
as it stands, Chelsea are still going through. Obviously,
Drop ball.
there's a couple other of match weeks. But yeah, I thought that was a good question from whatever his name was.
Yeah, it was a good question.
I quite like that.
Brian. His name
Brian.
was,
Yeah, I like
or
that,
at
Brian.
B Sloz, as he's known on Twitter.
McCubs, if you were Chelsea director of football, Marina, whatever her name is, where would you look to strengthen, or potentially who would you look to bring in?
Probably those kind of areas. Yeah, right back, left back, obviously. Centre forward, although it's always really difficult with centre forwards because it's not many centre forwards want to come in as a backup, do they?
No.
That's always a bit of a difficult one. And yeah, if Sancho was available, that would be pretty unreal as a kind of long term.
Apparently, we're in for Dembele as well, which makes sense.
Usman?
No.
Moussa Dembele.
What's his name?
Moussa Dembele from Lyon.
Oh yeah, Moussa Dembele. Yeah,
nice.
Moussa Dembele.
But then he wouldn't want to sit on the bench behind Tammy, would he?
I think he'd probably start ahead of Tammy.
Yeah, but then
Potentially.
where does that leave Tammy?
But yeah, he's not a significant upgrade on Tammy, so
No.
that'd be a bizarre move.
Yeah.
Like
I
he's
don't know-
very
I
good.
don't-
I
I
like
think-
him, but
Don't you
But I
just think
think
they're
it's
going
kinda
for a
tough.
better they're going for a better backup than Batshuayi and Giroud?
Yeah, I
don't know whether they're necessarily going for you're going to be a world class number 9.
But that's the thing. I think Batshuayi is a good enough backup, though.
He's not.
Yeah.
Do you not think?
No.
but Giroud will leave, and I think Bats has probably been a little bit mistreated. And I
Really?
do call him Bats because we're best friends.
Do you really think he's been mistreated? How? He's been given a lot of opportunity over the
What do
years
you
he's
mean?
been at Chelsea.
He's got more goals than starts at Chelsea.
Yeah, but that is easy to come off the bench and score a goal.
Yeah,
in the
so
last
he's not been
15
given
when
the start.
It's
but
not. It's not.
I don't know his
necessarily
stats
easy.
when I don't know his stats when he's starting. Yeah, but when he starts, he doesn't have the same impact.
I think he had really productive loan spells at Dortmund and Palace, and then
Not
was
so good at Valencia.
and then Valencia. I think that season Danny Parejo was the top goal scorer with 6. So I don't think anyone fared well then. But I think Batshuayi is a very able backup striker.
What type of striker would you say he is though? Because I genuinely don't know.
Probably a sort of penalty box predator. I don't think he's that good in build up.
No, his build-up's fairly is bang average. You're right, and I don't think he
doesn't offer enough.
It's not good enough that he can play in the channel, but
Go on, too much.
but that's
going for
that's
goal,
kind
wasn't
of
he?
Tammy's game as well, right? Tammy's not heavily involved in build-up, and he's kind of he's a good target man because of his stature.
Because he is massive.
Yeah, and now you've got someone like Kovacic playing beyond him. Like that's not just him playing up alone. There isn't as much of an issue, but yeah,
I wanted Michi to bang, but it's like sometimes when I see him playing, it's just, he doesn't do enough for me when he starts.
yeah, I wouldn't know as much in that regard because I can't say that I watch Chelsea every week. But
Yeah. I mean, he averages a goal every 47 minutes in the Champions League for Chelsea, but that's only 3 in not that many minutes. So it's kind of a useless stat, but I just thought I wrote it down earlier, so I'll give it to you.
Alton
well done, Diggs.
Edouard's going to be a great player for someone from Celtic.
Yeah. I mean,
he's probably got a higher ceiling.
how's his season gone so far? I haven't really been
Yeah,
following.
he's been an absolute G.
Really?
Yeah, he'll go for the same money as
Edouard.
Moussa Dembele. So the kid we bought from Celtic bought from
PSG, wasn't it?
PSG for £8 million. He was there on loan. He was sort of playing understudy to Moussa Dembele, and he's just he's had probably been a little bit more influential than him. But already people are talking about signing him for 25-30, and I think Chelsea could do a lot worse than going for Alton Edouard.
Fair. McCubs,
Yes.
as we watch Chelsea
drive,
on the
drive.
break, have we got any other questions?
Ref!
Oh,
Surely that's a free kick. No,
Give
there
him
we
a
go.
yellow.
yellow for Blind.
Trying to slow down the play. That was a bit
Terrible.
cynical. I don't really like that from Daley Blind. That annoyed me.
Yeah, from a man of his experience, you'd expect better, wouldn't you?
Nah.
Yeah, I think he just knew what he was doing.
yeah.
Kovacic has probably been your best player so far.
Yeah,
he's been
I was
unreal.
driving through the midfield. McCubs, any
Matt,
questions?
yeah, there's a guy called Matt in the comments. Hi,
Hey, Matt.
And he is saying, considering Chelsea and Ajax moving
dodgy
on,
quote.
considering. He said, yeah, considering that Chelsea and Ajax moved through the group stage, obviously that's not a guarantee at the moment. How do you think they would fare against larger European opposition in the knockouts?
Oh, well, I mean, we saw from Ajax last year, not obviously quite the same team. They obviously lost De Ligt and De Jong and, the name escapes me, they're over midfield, Lasse Schöne as well. But they play without fear. They play the same way wherever they're playing. Obviously beat Juventus, demolished Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. I think, they could get to a quarter-final quite comfortably, and no one would be that surprised. Chelsea, a bit more of an unknown quantity so far, to be fair. I didn't think they played particularly well against Valencia in their opening game, better against Lille, and then got the result that they needed against Ajax in what was a very even contest. So I find it quite difficult to judge Chelsea in Europe just now, but I'd be very surprised if Chelsea got to beyond the quarter-final, if I was totally honest.
Ref,
I think
are you
there's,
joking? You're
I think there's
literally
easily
standing
4 or
in front
5
of
better
him.
teams in the competition than them.
You've been poor.
yeah, for
You've
sure.
been poor as the game's gone
Yeah.
on.
I mean, McCubbs, where would you think Chelsea? Where's the sort of ceiling of their hopes in Europe this year?
It depends who they get drawn against. To be
I know,
honest. I mean,
yeah.
but it's not like they've been bad. Like they were very good against Ajax. I thought in the away leg of this. I thought they were pretty good against Liverpool as well earlier in the season. Who else did they? Obviously, they were. Obviously, the 4-0 against United wasn't great, but you can hardly count United as a big team anymore.
They drew against Leicester.
And they were better than the 4-0. Drew against Leicester.
Days, if we concede again here,
They've been very good. I think they've been very good recently against sort of lower end sides like Southampton. Oh my God! That is a world class goal.
Ziyech.
What have we just seen? Hakim Ziyech from pretty much the corner flag has curled it in top right above Kepa's head. He's been a topic of conversation on this stream so far, and Ziyech has scored an absolute worldie.
Career over for Kepa, I think.
Wow. That monkey face emoji. I can't believe what I've just seen.
That's mad.
That was
crazy.
crazy good.
Panic.
I've not even been followed.
Buy.
Oh.
Oh my lordy.
Oh.
What do you guys make of this?
Thing is,
'Cause-
I'm not
man.
sure.
Okay, it comes off the post and hits him in, I think.
I'm not sure he's in.
It's an own goal. It's an own goal.
It's off the post and hits
It's an own goal
Pepper in
from
the
Pepper,
face
man.
as he turns around. That is priceless. His neck does a whole
Oh,
oop
man.
back.
Hey, you lot need to stop bad mouthing. You're doing something to his energy right now. Stop saying mad stuff about him.
I actually don't mind his hair on a more positive note. However, that was just
man.
unfortunate. That's not bad goalkeeping.
that's unfortunate.
No goalkeeper
It's saved it.
anticipates that nestling into the side net, and albeit coming back in.
Stupid
off
free
his
kicks.
face. I mean,
I just love the
Stop
slow-mo.
giving them away.
Stupid. We said
It is,
you're
man.
right. When you've got an operator like Ziyech, you can't be giving free kicks away from those areas. His service has been unreal today. We said he'd play a big part. He's playing a huge part, and I'd like to see that again as to whether Kepa. I want to see where he's positioned on his line, but that feels cruel to blame him for that.
No,
Yeah,
it's not his fault.
You could maybe say that he should follow he should step back as the ball's
Come
coming
on,
across.
man. You
Yeah.
man aren't being realistic. Do you know how hard
What do you mean?
that
I just
ball...
said.
No,
I think
but
Hamill
this
was
guy,
very
do you know
fair.
how hard he hit the ball, bro? No one's saving that. De Gea's
No,
not
I mean-
saving that.
No, but what I mean is that he could step back, so he's got a better vantage point for when it drops.
When it drops off the...
Well, yeah, just in theory.
I-
Obviously, you'd have to see a few more replays
You know what,
to
yeah?
see
You know what,
how
yeah?
he's
We're gonna
judging
come
it.
back.
On a
Alright.
Stanford, on a side
I
note,
don't,
why
I'm, not,
is,
I'm not saying I definitely think
hold
that.
on,
We're
here we
gonna come
go.
back.
Why is
Here we
Stamford
go.
Bridge
We're
so
gonna come
empty
back.
tonight?
We're
Here we
gonna
go.
come back.
Comebacks on.
We're gonna come-
Not now.
Yeah, why
Not
is
now.
there that whole section that's just empty?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Don't
sure
know.
what
Fill
that's
your
about.
stadium.
Side note about
Usually that's where the away
What's wrong
supporters-
with you, man? Is it just
I think that
start
might be where the
bashing
away
Chelsea now?
Yeah.
yeah, and this is the most likeable they've been for years as well. On a side note, Ajax are clearly targeting Alonso's side,
Yeah.
and he's not getting all that much help from Pulisic. Although Pulisic's defensive numbers have always been okay in the past.
Oh my days!
But,
I'm gonna lose it.
But
I'm gonna
they
lose
are
it. Losing it.
overloading that right hand side, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's. I'm not gonna blame Lamps. I'm not gonna blame him. But you know the attack you're coming up against, yeah.
I love
You
it.
know Alonso, 28 pace max. Max. Don't play him.
Okay.
Emerson is literally
I
local.
to be fair, I don't actually mind them playing Marcus Alonso, but what I probably, well, it's all the benefit of hindsight, isn't it? But what I would do at half time is take off one of Mount and Pulisic because you don't need both of them, or Willian, and play one of because you don't need and play 4-3-3 and bring on Kante. Seriously, because they do have that option on the bench, and maybe if they're only planning on giving Kante 30 minutes, give him an extra 15 because they can't concede another goal here and hope to win this game.
Although, go on, bro.
Having said that,
Onana is very good with his feet.
Oh, that was
very
good
that's
play
fantastic
from
from
Chelsea,
Onana.
as we said. That Azpilicueta played it into Willian. He crossed the ball. I think it was cleared at the near post by someone. But this game has had a bit of everything.
You've not been. This isn't a 3-1 game from open play, is it? Like
But
you
that's
don't.
what I'm saying, it's two stupid
it's
free
Onana.
kicks.
Great kick.
It's two stupid free kicks. The first one, Tammy should have cleared it. Stop smiling at me when I'm angry.
I just can't. I just can't. I'm so happy with getting a dig in early on Kepa, and then it's just unfurling perfectly now.
Although I
been unfortunate,
think
hasn't it?
Hamill was probably the fairest, to be honest. You don't blame any keeper for it coming off your back stick and coming off and hitting you in the face and going in. It was comical, and that's why I laughed so much.
He got a bloody nose, didn't he?
And-
So, yeah.
Did he mean that Ziyech? Have we had that debate yet?
I don't
know.
think he meant it, to be totally honest. I think he's putting it into an area. It was so narrow, the
He
option.
did not mean that. Actually,
Yeah,
he
so-
might have. He's teched off, man. But
Yeah.
He
don't
knows
know.
how to bend it, doesn't he? But
But this,
yeah, it's an improbable angle. Like I don't think you can
This is nice
be
from
too annoyed
Chelsea,
about
though.
giving the free kick away there as
Come
well.
on.
Cause
Oh,
Give it to
guys,
him.
it's 39 minutes in. Just a quick reminder, if you're joining us for the first time, to subscribe
Yes!
to Football Daily and hit that notification
Unlucky.
bell to
Unlucky.
never miss a
That's what
Total
we
Football
need.
live stream. What a game we have seen so far. It's 3-1 to Ajax. 3-1 to Ajax with about 6 minutes of the first
Need
half
to see a
remaining.
bit more from Mount. Needs to be a
Yeah,
bit more
yeah,
from
yeah,
Mount,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and I can
yeah.
see why Willian and people complain that he's frustrating because for every one lovely through ball there is two.
three that are just out of, you know.
You know who I'm enjoying, though? Pulisic. Can
he's
go
actually
either
right.
way, linking the play really
Well, he's got
nicely.
to the byline a couple of times.
Kovacic
It's really nice,
playing
hasn't
really
he?
well. I think
that-
they
I
could
think
probably
that
do with
Mount- that
more
Mount
protection
penalty,
in midfield. I
Yeah.
think maybe one of those attacking players has to come off for Kante. But then they have got into promising areas as well. So, it's a big conundrum facing Lampard at half time. But McCubs, what sort of conundrums are we facing in the comments section?
Just lots of people digging out the one and only Kepa. Stands are empty because Ajax fans are banned by UEFA. That's from Pranav Kamath. Thanks for.
Thank you
reading
very
that.
much.
That's kind of,
Very
that's
useful.
kind of trivia. That's kind of stuff we
Just
should
came up on screen
know.
there that first goal was
Right.
given to Tammy
Tammy
Abraham.
Abraham.
Yeah.
I think it was on target. I think
I
that feels
thought
a
it
bit
was on
harsh.
target.
What?
But
It
but
wasn't.
people
It
were
wasn't.
saying-
It wasn't.
Was it not on target?
Nah, it was going where Kepa was moving, and then he made it go.
But if he's still in the frame of the goal, yeah, okay, all right. Maybe it was just going too
Do
far.
you know what?
right
He's
then.
just scored 2 own goals, fam. That's nuts. Yes.
That's
Let's
nice.
go.
Here we
That's
go.
really
Let's
nice.
have a bit of a
Look how
moment.
excited. Look
Play
how
him
fast
on.
he goes when he's going up the
More in
field.
men in the box, though.
Oh, what is that from Alonso?
Sorry, that is useless.
What was that?
For that, I'll take him off alone.
Seriously.
alone.
Now we're going down this
How
right-hand
much
side.
pressure have you just put your team under,
No,
Marcus
but this is
Alonso? You are
tomorrow.
lucky.
This
'cause
tomorrow we're talking
Oh,
about.
Tamori, that was great.
Seriously.
Ref, what?
I thought that was all right.
That's a and he's
Play
played-
advantage.
Neres
Oh
has
my.
played on anyway. Yeah.
Oh my
my
goodness.
Here we go.
Finish.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
no.
Ajax!
Hey, you're gonna get
Who's that,
tomorrow a yellow card
Martinez?
because you're joking. You're boying it, Lionel. That was a good challenge.
I don't know.
Let's have a look
It
at
was.
that again.
He
Let's
came
have
in
a
with
look.
a lot of force.
I
If it,
and I
we
feel-
need to see that again.
I
He was
feel
getting
like-
this perfectly.
Okay, so Neres has worked himself
He's
down the
won the
right hand
ball
side.
there.
I
think
feel
we
like
need
he's
to see
got.
a better angle.
I feel like he's got his whole body in front of this Neres, and that's probably why he gets a yellow card. And I don't know what Ajax are doing here. That tee up there from is that Promise?
Yeah, it was bouncing,
That is
wasn't it?
tee up there from Promise has cost them a shot on target there.
Tomori looks like he's pulled something as well.
Oh!
This is turning into an absolute disastrous half for Chelsea. They're 3-1 down. Tomori's got an injury and a yellow card. It's all going wrong at Stamford Bridge. Obba's in bits.
Oh my gosh.
I am a massive fan of the name Fikio though.
Ficchio.
Fikio Tomori.
Fikio.
Yeah.
Fikio.
Look how fast he moves up the field. It's when
It's
he's
like a-
defending.
Right,
he
Alonso,
doesn't-
here we go. Here he comes, Alonso.
Oi!
That's a ball.
That's all right.
Oh,
That's all right. It's all
It's
right.
literally the only
Well,
thing
it
that
was
keeps
great.
him in the team.
But look at him now. He just hovers. I mean,
That was a good ball from
it's all
Tam.
right when you're in this position, but
Yeah,
you're
but
getting
mate,
broken
they're
on.
three-
You're getting broken
Smash.
on left, right.
Ooh.
They are 3-1 down now though. So I mean,
But if you concede another one before half time, 4-1, it's
if the
completely
fullbacks-
over.
I can't lie. We're gonna come back.
The good
gonna
thing
come
is,
back.
the good thing is, from a Chelsea perspective, that Valencia are losing to Lille because at the moment, Lille will go on to 4
big
points
header,
with
Kurt.
Valencia.
Big header.
Chelsea will be on 6,
And Williams about
Ajax are
5
on
yards.
9.
Sorry, Williams about 5 yards offside there.
No, it's a very good point. But yeah, the group is still very much open for Chelsea, even if they lose this game as it stands.
Okay,
McCubs,
good
what are the people saying before half time?
We've actually got another question from Matt because he seems to be the only person asking questions in the comments.
Come on,
Please
guys.
get them in. Questions about this game, about the Champions League, about anything football related, to be honest. Because there's been a lot of drama over the last couple of weeks. We want to hear your thoughts and we want to hear your questions.
Otherwise,
as well.
McCubbin will get very angry.
I will get very angry.
In
And
Cummins Cove.
no flirting as well because there's been a bit of that in the comments.
Oh, you?
Just everyone.
You dirty dogs.
But Matt has once again asked,
can't do anything
well, not the
about
same question, but he has once again asked us a question.
It is kept up on it by.
This game has been quite entertaining, but what 2 teams would you like to see make the Champions League final? As in, what would be the most entertaining Champions
question.
League
That's a
final?
really good question.
PSG versus Barca.
Ooh,
Do you think?
shout.
Yeah.
I would really like to see. I always think Man City side. Man
Ooh,
City's best
PSG or City.
when Man City play against a side that have really rapid attackers and can really counter them on the attack on the break. So someone like Man City PSG with Mbappe running at that back line, I would love to see.
Go on, bro.
That was
Ref the sample. Hey, VAR. Ref. No.
Are they going to VAR that?
Let's talk us through what happened there.
Who played the ball to? Who played
that
the
was
ball
an
to
insane
Pulisic?
first touch from Pulisic at
He's a
speed.
baller, man.
That was an insane first touch.
Oh, but was it Tammy free on the right and he couldn't quite get it out of his feet, or at least in the right direction? That's annoying. That could
He's
have
taken that under so nicely as
been
well.
a big opportunity.
I agree with Albra. I think I'd go PSG Barca because it's like the handing over of the baton if PSG win. Mbappe, Messi to Mbappe, but then who would begrudge Messi one last Champions League? No one.
Is anyone going
then
Liverpool
there's-
in this question?
Nah,
Just out of
man.
interest.
Bore off.
I mean,
Because I'm not. I just don't. I enjoy watching Liverpool, but I don't enjoy them as much.
Willian again!
You see what I mean, bro?
And some other.
Hey, you got skin there, bro.
Don't you dare do that
I
to
need
me.
to squeeze something out. Oh my days. Are you gonna
love a
give another
squeeze.
foul?
McCubs, what would be your dream final 2020? Don't know where it is actually.
2020.
Let's say it's Kiev.
It's Istanbul. That's why
It's
Liverpool would
Istanbul.
be interesting. 'Cause
Cracking.
Where's
obviously
some of the free kick from one of those areas?
Oh, no.
it's the exact same area. This free kick.
Step up, Quincy Promise.
I
Step
think
up, Tammy
Chelsea's
Abraham.
fullbacks. Maybe this is a bit harsh, bit sloppy this half.
They're struggling.
I feel like you're
They're struggling.
Azpilicueta's been caught up, in wrong positions a few
I
times.
literally
Marcus
said
Alonso
before
likewise.
we went on air, I said if they get in behind Alonso or Aspi, first few minutes and they score, we're in trouble. Look, Danny, you remember when I said that to you? Damn.
Danny behind the camera nodding his head in agreement.
Oh,
Another ball in. Chris,
days.
talk us through this one.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Promise. I mean, ZX hovering over it, and I mean, it could be either of them.
It's going to be
couldn't it?
promised. They're going to put on goal, of course.
Oh, look at Donny van de Beek.
Interestingly, they've
hovering top
lined up
deep.
to go to the front post and the back post and neglected the centre. And it's not beaten Tammy Abraham this time, who manages
That's
to
why he's
clear
in
the
at the near
ball
post.
a bit more convincingly.
One more chance for Ajax.
20
in this half.
seconds left of this highly entertaining first half. It's a potential another set-piece goal for Ajax with about 20 seconds left. As I said, give the ball to Quincy Promes and
Their deliveries have been
Let's see you go 4-1
amazing, though.
down.
Don't. What are you doing, dude? You
I'm
told me you were
I'm just
supporting
loving
Chelsea,
the
bro.
drama. I'm
That's
loving
not
the
drama.
drama.
If it's 4-1, that's not
I'm
entertainment.
a pure
bro.
neutral.
That's it.
I'm a
We're
Chelsea.
not even letting them
What?
take the corner.
Oh yes.
Is
What
that
a disgrace.
Is that allowed?
That-
What's
They
the,
would've
what's the
scored
ref
from that,
on?
was that
Oh
it?
my goodness. But
Aye.
yeah,
Jogging.
what a half of action. 3-1 to Ajax. Oba, if you are Frank Lampard in the dressing room, what are you saying to them right now?
You see that video of the Turkish guy slapping all the players?
Are you advocating for violence now? Are you advocating
no.
for beatings?
You have to tell them.
Is anyone not getting a slap?
Yeah, Kovacic's not getting a slap. Zuma and Tomorrow not getting slaps. Even Kepa, to be fair, he's not getting a slap.
Who's getting laid out?
Mount, not really seen much of him. Pulisic is getting. You see that player? This is what you should be like. You know them Sunday League managers.
What's Marcus Alonso getting?
Alright. You're getting 2 minutes. You're getting 2 minutes. That's literally what I tell him and Aspie, bro. 'Cause
Would
they're
you,
getting burnt.
would you humiliate him by bringing him on and then bringing him off? Like bring him on for
No.
half time.
I'll genuinely tell
Give
him.
him a minute, yeah.
I'll genuinely tell him you're getting 5 minutes. Change my mind. If you don't fix up in this 5 minutes, Emerson warm up.
Fair. And Chris, from an Ajax perspective, what do you think Ten Hag will be saying in that dressing room? More of the same? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have as much in terms of choice as last year. This is pretty much his strongest 11 out now, isn't it? Unless he was going to change one of the fullbacks, which I don't think he should. I think the Ajax defence have been largely in trouble. They've been excellent, apart from a few hairy moments from Blind, maybe. And that first goal was Veltman, if I remember correctly. Just watching the Deliveroo adverts really freaking me out. The woman is disappearing into the bag.
have you never seen that?
Yeah, I have, but
gets
not
right in there.
not whilst talking about Veltman at centre half. I think it's more of the same for Ajax. They're doubling up on the fullbacks at Chelsea really, really well. They're almost like we've not seen that much of Van der Beek, and he was really influential in the Champions League, particularly against Tottenham when he was pulling everyone about left, right, and centre. Really good, really adept at finding space. They've not really used him in that way. He's kind of just anchoring the midfield, doubling up on their men out wide, and it's proving really effective. They've obviously identified the fullbacks as the weak link.
Yeah, I agree. I think their like play on the break has been really good. They've been just going for the wings, and Azpilicueta and Marcus Alonso haven't really been able to live with their pace, and they're making sloppy errors in the corners. And yeah, I don't think Ajax are ripping you apart. I actually think it's been fairly even in the middle of the park. Kovacic has made some real good ground in there. But just a couple of sloppy errors, and then I think you've been quite unfortunate as well.
Two set
Tammy
pieces.
Abraham own goal, then that Kepa own goal as well, which was a freak goal, although it was entertaining at the time.
It's not good enough.
They've
man.
edged it.
It's not
They've
good
edged it. I
enough.
mean, your goal
Yeah.
was a set piece as well.
Exactly.
If it was 1-0 Ajax now at half time, I think that'd probably be a fairish result.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McCubs, what are the people saying in the comments?
People saying a few things. Actually, away from this game, a lot of people have been asking about it in the comments. In particular, Sir Pudia and Jacob Tudor, who both want to know what our thoughts are on Xhaka losing the Arsenal captaincy.
Ooh.
Just for that one game, or has it been indefinite?
Well, I don't know. According to this,
That he's lost it.
Someone's saying Aubameyang's the new captain. I haven't. I've been kind of.
I think that I saw a
looking at it
rumor
today,
about
but-
him being a new captain if Xhaka is stripped of it. I didn't think he should have been given the captain armband in the first place. So if he loses it, then you kind of brought it on yourself. But at the same time, I do think that the fans did go a little bit overboard. But as a professional, you have to just deal with it as a professional, innit? Like head down, walk down, storm off, whatever. Don't shake someone's hand, but to
Goad them and get
yeah,
angry
like
about it.
it wasn't.
Part of
Yeah.
me thinks let him have it. Like for what he's had to put up with in the last couple of years on a human level has been disgusting. And there's rising above it, and there's also just being like, why do I want to play in front of these people who are saying such just it's only a select few that are necessarily leveling those awful things at him. But there's just this collective antipathy towards him, which is just not helpful. And Arsenal fans are just so moaning.
Nah, I don't.
He'll be disappointed that he's reacted like that. And
Yeah.
he's fueled the trolls, his fire, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I can understand it, but that doesn't make it right.
I think, but every player gets it though. Like every player has been okay. One majority of top players have been booed. Bell has been booed by the Real Madrid fans. You've never seen him.
Ronaldo's been booed
Do
by the
that.
Real Madrid
Ronaldo's been booed. Like players get booed all the time. Abue got booed at Arsenal. He was crying on the pitch, fam. That was all deep in that. Like, do you get what I'm saying? if
It does feel like these things happen
like,
at Arsenal, though.
no, but-
I think Arsenal fans are particular, at least in the Premier League, Arsenal fans are particularly bad for it, and they are particularly bad at targeting certain players in a certain way.
Yeah.
I think Xhaka gets it more than most. I would
But
say.
is it warranted though?
Well, I don't think it's ever really warranted to do that, but clearly
Bad performance after bad performance after bad
Oh, what?
performance,
No, I-
being
I-
captain.
I don't know. I think essentially it was always going to come this. Like I think no matter whether you think Arsenal fans were justified in booing him in that particular instance, or whether you think that Xhaka was justified in reacting the way he did, which I don't think he was, but. Clearly, like this is something that's been building up for a long time.
Yeah,
it was always going to happen. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
personally, I just think Xhaka
I
should be plotting his move out. Like he should be out of the door in January. Like he should.
Yeah,
just be
why
looking for new clubs right now.
would you want to salvage it? I think it's a little bit reminiscent, and it wasn't quite as poisonous at Chelsea with Jorginho, but he's become the poster boy for his manager's failings as well. Like Jorginho used to get it in the neck because he was seen as Sarri's favourite.
Yeah.
And Xhaka is kind of that guy with Emery, in that he keeps getting in the team, maybe unjustifiably sometimes because Emery can't find a way of playing. And the fans have levelled that, have directed that kind of hatred towards him as well. So
But
I feel like-
But sorry, dude. Go on.
No, go for it. All right, I'll go then. I feel like Emery's got a lot to answer for in the situation as well, because I don't think not announcing your captain at the start of the season, then holding a
Crazy.
player vote, Xhaka winning it, and then taking another 6 weeks to announce him as
Announce it.
captain
It's just, what's he
doesn't
doing?
help. And obviously Xhaka probably isn't good enough to start every week for Arsenal, which he does when he's fit. And you can see why, Arsenal fans get on his back at times. And you could see why they'd also boo him off because he is walking off slowly. But the poison that surrounds every Arsenal defeat, every Man United defeat, I feel like they're the two most reactive fan bases in England. And
They're like two of the biggest though. That's always gonna happen. I just think as a player,
I thought that was a bit much.
recently.
as a player, you cannot
we've just
you
resigned
cannot
ourselves
react
to,
like that.
mid-table.
Yeah, but if you do, you have to just apologise and move on in it. Because what he
did apologise, though,
He
to be fair.
apologised, but he kind of justified it.
Well,
But do you
I
know
feel
what? Have you been into like footballers' comments before? Every footballer gets serious.
But I don't think
abuse.
he has to be wholly apologetic. Yeah, and that's because But what is going to change about? I mean, we're getting into a bigger conversation here about a fan culture and how, and being a fan in the digital space. But why should more responsibility not be leveled at the fans and the club in that situation?
But there's two things here. Yeah, one, you're captain. You're walking off when you're drawing 1-1 with a team that you should be beating. The fans are, and you didn't play well, so they're gonna boo you. Yeah, and then two, fans only get that voice. That's the only thing they're allowed to do. Like, they're paying.
But it wasn't just booing like that. We're saying like that's understandable. If someone's performed badly and they get booed, that's football. That's emotion at the game. That's great. We love it.
I think like you're talking about the social media abuse, and you're talking about what happened in the stadium. I feel.
Well, I mean, what happened in the stadium is slightly more forgivable, but we're saying it's a culmination of things, aren't we, with Xhaka? Yeah. Like, if it's just an isolated thing where he's been booed for a bad performance, then yeah, get over yourself. But it's not, and I don't think you can. I think you have to treat it more holistically than just that incident.
Fair, lads. Fascinating discussion, but I just thought I'd give you the scores on the doors from around Europe. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
So, Napoli, RB Salzburg, 1-1.
Nice.
Genk, Liverpool, 1-1. Genk have scored at Anfield.
What is that? What was the Liverpool starting lineup? Can we go through that?
It was not very. They'd rested Firmino and Mane.
You click the score.
But yes, I can get it up. But yeah, it was Origi and Oxlade-Chamberlain. No, it's not coming up there. I'll get it up later. Dortmund are 2-0 down to Inter Milan at home. Lyon are 2-0 up against Benfica at home. And in the other game in this group, we know Lille are ahead against Valencia. I just thought we'd have the scores on the door. So it looks like Inter Milan having a very good night at the Westfalenstadion. 2-0.
All right, wait, let me just ask you a little question, yeah? So if you were Xhaka in that situation, what would you do?
I'd get off the pitch faster.
In that specific
situation, I'd get off the pitch faster.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd get angry. I don't think the fans would have booed to the same extent if he'd got off the pitch faster. I think it is as practical as that sometimes.
I don't really want to kind of temper, or I want to say how I'd react, because it means going through what he's gone through, and that's very difficult.
And you can't.
But like Doogie said earlier, yeah, I think one of the biggest problems is Emery as well. And like you said as well, Emery is starting him when he's not really
he doesn't deserve to be.
He doesn't deserve the amount of chances he's been given, and then given a player like that captaincy as well. It's like we watch what you're watching. So how are you thinking this?
To be
guy
fair,
can
maybe
be
behind the scenes, he's by far the most vocal, by far the best
captain,
leader. But
he's captain for his country as well. But at the same time, he's not playing well. So there needs to be. You're taking off your captain in the last 3 games at the 70th minute. So how important really is he? Is he that important, or is it just to be talking on the pitch? If it's just that, then I don't know, man.
But then people have also said in the last, I'm just playing devil's advocate, that Arsenal have leaders, they've had a soft centre, and I guess he's supposed to complement, footballers like Nicolas Pepe. So you kind of need a combination of both, but Arsenal are still very, I was going to say you because I was kind of looking at Georgia. Arsenal are still, very porous with him on and off the pitch. I just think it's
a sad situation.
And it just keeps it's a disproportionate amount of grief that he gets. To be frank, and like I said, I can understand his reaction, but that doesn't make it right. I don't think I can phrase it any more succinctly than that.
Fair. Right, guys, if you have just joined us, it is 3-1 to Ajax against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Highly entertaining first off. If you've just joined us, remember to subscribe to Eurofootball Daily and hit that notification bell to never miss a total football. But I believe we've got about 5 minutes until the second half kicks off. And McCubbin, do you have any half-time entertainment?
I've got some half-time entertainment. Yes, that's right. Obviously, it's Chelsea Ajax tonight, so we've got some trivia involving the very limited amount of contact these two sides have had in the history of football, which is almost none. Did you know that until this season they'd actually never met in competitive competition before?
Wow.
Chelsea have only played 3 teams in the European Cup.
But
3 Dutch. As in they've only played 3 matches against Dutch opposition.
Which year did they meet for the first time in a friendly? I'm going to take the nearest year.
1978.
Okay.
When did...
1995.
Imagine if someone just tuned in for that. They're like, what is he in now? I probably think I'm going to go early 2000s. 'Cause I think that's when playing international friendlies became really bougie.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Okay.
2001.
Really? Oh, well, I can tell you now that it's actually Douglas Critchley who's the nearest. It's
Oh, no.
1978. And he's about 21 years off. It was 1957.
Wow.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
way back.
It's a long time ago.
I like it,
Underestimate how
Mikhail.
much the international friendly scene was back in the day.
Is there another question, or is that?
That was
Bit
there's
more
one.
adventurous because of
okay.
less competitions, I guess.
Yeah, that's. I think that's it. Yeah, less. There wasn't the fourth place and everything. You had to get into the European Cup by being champion and whatnot.
I thought everyone was just playing Pele Santos, just relentlessly.
That's why
That's
so many
it.
goals. Yeah. Next one. They actually host. So Chelsea hosted Ajax in London for the first time in 1993. A pre-season tournament this time, kind of Intertoto Cup vibes. But at which stadium did they host them?
I assume not Stamford Bridge by that question.
Well, yes.
They hosted them in London.
They hosted them in London, but which stadium?
I'm going to go straight in for the Valley.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, I like it. Like a mid. Upton Park. I'm gonna go.
And Selhurst, did you say? Points go to Dougie Critchley again, although it wasn't actually Upton Park because it. But
Are we doing it geographically?
It was the nearest one, yeah, White Hart Lane. Actually, that might be near the Valley. I'm not sure, but anyway.
Come on!
No. White Hart Lane's miles away from the Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, no, actually it is. Yeah, I'm thinking about West Ham and the Valley. Cool. All right, sweet. And then the last one, I don't know whether a couple of you know this actually because it was in your trivia, Dukes. So
Okay, I won't compete.
Ajax's last away loss on English soil was in the European Cup all the way back in 1980. But who beat them?
God.
This
AC
is
Milan.
good. Yeah. Hey?
No, on English soil.
On English soil. So it was an English Cup that beat them.
1980.
In the European Cup.
Yeah.
Who was enjoying their heyday in the 1980s? Tottenham. Villa.
I mean, a lot of English teams were good in
English
the
soil.
European Cup around then.
It was Liverpool were exceptional around then.
Yeah.
Liverpool, yeah. That was mid.
Oi.
When did Villa win there? Was that the Cup Winners' Cup?
But who's your
know
English
this,
team?
Douglas.
From the,
Are they from London?
Come
I'm
on, you can't
not
give
limited
them that.
to say that, yeah. Actually.
come on.
Arsenal.
Tottenham.
Nah. Nottingham Forest.
Brian Clough's.
Yeah,
Nottingham
Brian
Forest.
Clough. Exactly.
I like
They,
it.
that was who was in their heyday.
Martin
very,
O'Neill, John Robertson.
very quickly though, we've got a little hot potato for you.
Oh,
Okay.
slow down.
Oh,
Yeah, here we go. Here we
Reece
go.
James.
Reece James is on by.
Oh, he's on. For Aspie.
For Aspie.
He looks like a
Wow.
Aspie was he's
Machine as well.
very built, isn't he? Aspie was a bit shaky in that first half. McCubs, let's very quickly do your hot potato.
Should we do it? Okay, cool. Last 10, so the assist leaders for the last 10 Champions League editions, if you get me. Top
Okay.
assister
Who's
for the last
going
10
first?
years.
Milner,
He is one, yes.
Neymar.
Yes, he is one too.
Messi.
Oh, I thought
Yes.
we were
Oh, sorry.
Messi.
Messi, yeah. Well, that was given to you. But yeah,
Ribéry.
cool. Ribéry was not one.
Robin.
Not one.
Xavi,
Not one.
Iniesta,
Not one.
Lewandowski.
No.
Assist maker.
Top assist maker in a Champions League.
Dybala,
Dybala, no.
Thiago.
Ronaldo.
No.
Benzema.
No.
Cruz. Modric.
No.
Modric.
None of them.
James.
No.
Isco.
No.
Marcelo, maybe.
No.
Last 10. So that goes
Mbappe.
back to-
Mbappe, no.
Di Maria.
No.
Wesley Schneider.
Yes.
Yes.
2010. Finally.
Giggs. Skulls.
No.
Carrick. When was the
For the last 10 years.
No,
Oh, the last
Aspilicueta
10.
won.
Rooney.
Alonso
Rooney
went
was
off.
one, yes. Rooney was one.
Alonso went
2013-14, I believe.
Alonso went off.
The
Yeah,
Moyes.
They put Aspie to the left. Good
Oh, wow.
idea.
Well played.
Blimey.
Keep driving.
Wait,
Whoa. Neymar.
Go on then,
Go on,
Kurt.
man.
No, the ones, bro.
Oh my
What have
god!
we just seen?
He just threw
What have we just seen?
Lampard pissing himself.
Zuma did some step overs. What
That
have we
was
just
crazy.
seen?
Ah!
But that,
Oh,
that
let's
could
go.
change the atmosphere in the whole
no,
stadium.
no,
Come on,
let's
Kurt.
What happened there?
go.
I want to
Let's
see that
go.
again.
Let's
That was
go.
crazy.
So I can only just. Zuma must have run about 60 metres.
That was the most unnatural looking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he looked very
it was
uncomfortable.
so weird.
Man did a step over his whole body, but he sent him though.
He really went for it, wasn't it? It was so
Oh,
dramatic.
God.
Come on, boys. This is what we need.
I was wondering how
Zuma
many
turned
views
into
you
like
had.
Ronald Koeman
Alright,
back
I'll
then.
get
It was
it up.
incredible. Oh, driving forward. Maybe more like a Rouge
Go on,
Pillar,
help him,
actually.
help him.
What a start to the second half. Can
There you go,
Chelsea
Mason
get
Mount.
a second? Oh.
I love that, the double step over.
McCubs, do you want to just tell us
A
the
few more,
other
yeah,
assistants?
because you are frankly rubbish at that. There are a few surprises though. 2015-16, Kingsley Coman was the top assister.
Zlatan.
Zlatan was the top assister in 2012-13 for PSG.
yeah.
Nice one.
Last season, on account of him having played less minutes than the other players who got 5 assists, Leroy Sané was top.
Oh.
And then
Look at that effort from
2010-11,
Tammy.
That's what I
Ozil,
mean.
2011-12, Kaka. Apparently
Kaka.
Kaka.
I nearly said Kaka, and I was
Yeah.
like, the dude, that's stupid.
It wasn't stupid.
2012.
I
What,
should
Real
have backed
Madrid?
yourself. Always back
Apparently
yourself
so.
if you think you
Or
know
maybe
the
it was
answer.
AC. Was he back at AC by then? Maybe, no. I think it must have been Real Madrid.
If you guys have
But
got
they
any,
they do fluctuate a bit.
if you guys have got any fun trivia for us to do at full time, get it in the comments below. But for now, we've got Chelsea starting this half pretty well until that moment. Disappointing. Is that Mason Mount again?
That, man.
That would be so fun. You know what goal that reminds me of Nedum Manua for Sunderland versus Chelsea at the Bridge in 2009. Unbelievable goal. Look at him driving forward, does the step over. See you later, Daily Blind.
The shot is so bad.
Man, it's so Zuma.
The shot is so centre back.
Yeah. If he just drew, I would have ripped off my shot. I swear to God.
And just ate it.
Ober, on the topic of centre backs, what do you think about? Well, I know he's been injured until today, so he's back on the bench. But what do you make of Andreas Christensen? And do you think he can get into the starting lineup?
I like Christensen. I think he I don't know, like he lacks something. Like my
God,
days,
Kepa!
Kepa. Relax, bro. Oh my days.
Kepa is
Oh
getting
my
everyone
days.
nervous in this stadium. I wish we had the volume because I can feel the tension around
He's
Stamford
not-
Bridge when he gets the ball.
He's not like strong enough when he goes into challenges, especially in the air.
Fair.
Like he always gets dominated in the air. So if he's playing against like a Diego Costa, he will get dominated.
on.
Yes, William.
Here we go.
Do something.
Driving.
No, I think he should play in Tammy there. Like you're.
No, but he
difficult.
can't play the ball there if he's driving on his right. He genuinely can't.
So you're
Yeah,
trying to say
stays
he's
on
got
his
no
right.
left.
Yeah, he's no left.
That would have been such a hard ball.
He's
though.
like me
No,
on
no,
the
no,
sixth
but-
side. But no, I thought into Tammy and then you could maybe hold it off and
His-
bring more into play.
Williams actually, I think, one of the few players in world football that doesn't lose speed when he's driving with the ball. That's what he's really, really good at. It is then just getting his head up and picking out the right pass. But I think that's probably a bit harsh. He's took you up the pitch well there, but then conceded a throw in.
I felt like there was
But
a pass
I
off to
think
Tammy.
in regards to Christensen, I think I don't think he'll ever start if
I mean,
like
Nice.
it's gonna have to be.
on.
Oh my
Oh,
god! Look
Burners!
at that pace.
You've just got to bang it. Unlucky.
Go on, Reese.
Go on, middle.
This is one of
middle,
the first
middle.
times that I've seen Reese James play.
That's it.
what a
Great
ball!
ball.
Let's go. Let's
Well
go. boys.
passed.
Let's go.
He's the solution.
Let's go.
I can
let's
see
go,
what
let's
Wigan
go.
saw in him now. I can see what Zach
go,
when
let's
Zach
go.
was down at the DW Stadium. I can see what he
I feel like
meant.
could this go top D now?
Yeah.
Two men completely free.
Yeah, he got
But
gassed.
it's a good
I
ball.
would've
It's a
got
good
gassed
ball,
as
Reese.
well,
He
I can't
got
lie.
too excited. But he did. This is in his Champions
And
League
that's-
debut. I feel
that's-
like he played against Lille.
That's never a bad area to put the ball in.
he did.
No. It wasn't stupid. It was just.
Come on, let's score a goal.
Oh.
Let's score a goal, boys.
I like that. Words of
Oh,
wisdom
dear.
from Ober.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Well
oh dear.
played. Well
Good
played,
cover
Mal.
from Mount.
Ref, are you
That's a
joking?
free kick.
I would say that was a foul.
You would say it's a foul.
No, I would, because I'm an Ajax fan.
This is a joke, man.
Yeah,
If ref
for the
giving
next
them-
40
We
minutes.
actually, I forgot to do this at 0
How
minutes,
is that a
also known
foul?
as the start of the game. It's a
Score
bit stupid
predictions.
now. Score predictions, Michael.
It's 3-1 to Ajax.
Mate,
You're asking for my
what's your
score
final
prediction.
score prediction?
Are we,
6-1, obviously, to Ajax.
is this happening? A
Yeah,
score
what-
prediction?
What's your
The
final?
four
What's your
goals.
final? I want to see
This
who's
is better
right.
than you asking Pothead's question on Football Social.
Pothead 38 deserved a shout. What's your final score prediction? Seriously,
3-2.
fair. I'm gonna go 3-all.
Oh,
4-3.
Full 3. Okay, there we go.
4-3.
Let's see who
What's
wins.
Chelsea.
Of course, to Chelsea. Who else?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
It's 6-1.
I thought it'd be interesting. Let us know your score predictions in the comments below for full time. Weird time to do it, but I forgot to do it before the match.
Well, at least you got it.
Go on,
you got it
cover.
done.
Let's go. Let's
You're
go.
kicking yourself, otherwise.
Ooh, that's a heavy challenge.
Well played, William. Give him.
Nice.
Now, Tammy, do something. Look at you
First
making the same
time.
run.
First time.
Yeah, but also,
Second time.
who's in there?
Yeah, you want Tammy in there. Oh, sorry.
Oh my days.
Right, McCubs, let's get a question in while we
question.
chew over this
There were-
improved
chest.
Chelsea.
There
second
were a
half
couple of
performance.
dissenters in the comments
Oh, yeah.
saying that I shouldn't have been doing half-time entertainment and just have been asking the questions.
What?
Well, if you ask them.
Sorry, yeah, you got to ask better ones. There have been some better ones recently. One coming in from Dave Dio. Do you think
Shout out,
Ziyech
Dave.
can make it at a top European club?
See, I follow a few Ajax sort of commentators on Twitter, which is always entertaining because they do great clips of them playing fantastically well. And a few of them say that while Ziyech is a phenomenal player and great in the Eredivisie and can shine in Europe, he won't ever have it at a top level club because he's too selfish.
Yep.
And his decision making isn't often his decision making
Kovacic.
often isn't good enough. He'd rather go himself than play the simpler pass to Kovacic
my God.
again.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
here we go.
Oh,
What a save
was
from
that save?
Onana! The finish was weird though.
that's good defending. He's put enough
good
pressure on
defending,
Tammy
very
there
good defending.
not to concede a penalty. Was
Kovacic
that
world
I-
class
I-
in the build.
I
I feel
think
like the finish is so weird though. He
I
gets
think
no
that's
power.
I think that's Veltman, but how
He's off.
He's
man.
off anyway.
He's off.
this is a massive mismatch. Daley Blind against Tammy Abraham because he's
He's
gassing him every single time, and Veltman's having to come across and cover.
I know he wasn't offside. Why wasn't he offside? They
Because it
can't
wasn't a
spot
goal,
it.
I guess.
That was probably left to the refs' discretion.
Oh man.
Kovacic in the build-up
There's
there,
been
though.
quite
Bangers, you might as well.
There's been quite a few moments from Tammy Abraham at the
Tammy
start
Abraham,
of this half.
I think Tammy Abraham needs to do a little bit better there, though.
Yeah, 100.
I agree. The finish was so weak.
Lovely.
Onana, it was a good save, but he could it was quite easy. Like the ball sort of chipped up at him.
Well, it was really, really good defending from Veltman because everyone else had given up on it. I don't know what Daley Blind's doing trying to play him offside when he's 3 yards behind the rest of his back line. And Daley Blind's been done there again on the overlap. He needs a little bit of help from his fullbacks
No,
now.
I
Reece
agree. I
James
think
is playing.
just
Tagliafico
playing.
tuck
He's
in
made
for the
a
next
difference.
5. I think
He's made a
Chelsea
big difference.
have started so well this first 8 minutes.
Shock.
Yeah,
Alonso off.
Alonso off, and I think Kovacic is playing phenomenally well.
at
I think
that
how many
beast.
drives have we seen him make
also-
throughout midfield?
Yeah, like with Daley Blind as the left-sided centre half, like it's a little bit more of a physical mismatch. Him being up against Reece James than Azpilicueta, because Azpilicueta, we've seen this season when he goes up, he's not necessarily coming back
No.
as quick as years gone by, which is what is he? He's like 28, 29, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not that
I
old.
think he's 29. Yeah, but
Right,
he has
like-
slowed up quite a bit.
It looks
Like-
like a move to centre half is imminent in a back three.
But
right?
he is a centre half. Like I think personally, he's better centre back in it.
Do you think?
Yeah, but it's just his height that lets him down.
But we didn't actually see many overlaps, is the point I was making with Azpilicueta in the first half, did we? Reece James has already supplied 2 in the first 8 minutes.
He's still. I mean, Azpilicueta. I don't want to bash him because I think he's phenomenal. He's been phenomenal for the decade.
Go on
we
then,
put him in
Azpi.
our team of the decade at left back, and I think he's missed
Go on,
something
let's
ridiculous.
make it
like
count. Let's make it
5
count.
Premier League games in 3 years.
Oh no!
Shucks. That is not a good pass.
Shucks.
That is not a good pass from Pulisic. It's difficult not to swear on this sometimes.
I'm happy that you did that because
Shucks.
if you opened that,
Oh.
that
Turn into a child's comic there. Ah, shucks.
Shucks.
Like Catch the Pigeon. What's that called?
boys, help him there, man.
So much
Like-
time.
Oh,
one!
Donny.
Great finish from Donny van der Beek. So much time in the box there, though. I don't know where the Chelsea marking was. He's sort of just beyond the penalty spot, slightly withdrawn, angles it into the bottom left. Really disappointed for Chelsea after that start to the half. How are you doing, big man?
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm
You man need to stop touching me. I'm gonna get angry because right now, look at them. Look at us. We didn't deserve that.
I mean, he's got a hand tattoo. He did deserve it.
Okay, Chris, talk us through what was going on here.
Okay, I mean, they're just showing it now. I mean, you said that ZX too selfish, but again, him and, is it Neres?
Kovacic,
It's a
man.
great picker.
You
Just
slept. You
Doubling
slept.
up on the fullback
Slept, bro.
again. They're targeting Azpilicueta this time. I'm not sure what Chelsea play that is that goes to ground early.
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
It
That
is.
was
It's a great finish, though.
It
to
is
be fair to
tomorrow.
him.
And
it's-
Donny
it's-
van der Beek
it's-
swept it
it's-
across
it's
Kepa
poor-
and
it's
it's gone
poor-
into the bottom right of the goal. But
I feel-
it's what they were doing first off, right? 2 players, 1 fullback. Like Chelsea are quite narrow at the moment. Yeah.
I feel like this is harsh on you guys.
It
I
is,
don't think
but
this
it- no,
this
but
hasn't
it-
felt like
it
a
is,
fault.
but it is, but in Champions League you get punished.
Wow, I did-
It's
I did
poor
say 6-1.
defending.
It's-
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. Doesn't matter if you're dominating the game for the first 5 minutes. You can't fall asleep defending. You can be all right in the final third, but we're still 3-1 down. Kovacic, yes, he's had a brilliant game,
Got
yeah,
excited.
but he fell asleep.
Yeah.
Left Van der Beek in the penalty box alone. Like you don't do that against anyone.
Was that Kovacic then?
Yeah, he just left him.
There was so much time and space for him. I mean, it was a great finish, but I agree the defending was weak. But I feel like you'd started this half so well. Quite a few efforts. Tammy Abraham threw on goal. A couple of headers saved by Onana as well. And yet you concede that crucial 4th goal. And 4-1, it's pretty much out of the question now. McCubs, you could be
Zach
on.
is the
could be on
with your
time he
6th
goes to
mark.
Yeah, I know
Chelsea,
you said it as a
lose.
joke, but I'll take that.
Oh,
single
gutting.
time.
Now, Donny van de Beek, we're seeing on the screen 2 goals in 3 matches. Really damaging result this for Chelsea. Although it's still 1-0 to Lille as we've seen previously, so it's not damaging in terms of their hopes of qualifying necessarily. It just means that final 2 games, a lot of pressure on it now.
That's probably the most advanced we've seen Donny van de Beek this game as well.
Yeah.
Martinez sitting in a little bit more. He's probably gone up to try and help kill the game. Tadic has not been that active, has he?
No.
Like, you definitely feel like Ajax, scarily enough. Oh,
Ziyech being cheeky.
Ziyech doing one man too many there in the end, actually. But yeah, you definitely feel like Ajax have probably got another gear, which is quite a scary proposition.
Here we go. This is a big moment. Willian through. He's got 2 men with him. Not a good pass. Really not a good pass at all. Oh, in those sort of moments with 33 minutes to go, you really need to start be taking those. If you are Frank Lampard's men, damaging. Oh, McCubs, what are the people making of this crazy result in Chelsea?
Yeah, just a lot of people just talking
Bad
about
injury as well?
not too much actually, like on this game, but some people have been reacting to the other English team in action tonight. Liverpool, obviously, starting with a slightly weaker side as we were talking about earlier. Oxlade-Chamberlain's actually at least from what I can see, starting up top, kind of in the kind of Firmino role.
in a Firmino role.
And he's actually scored.
Has he?
Once again. I don't know what, a lot of love from him in the comments, so maybe it's another banger. But Moustache Crab was saying that Ox needs to start against City on the weekend. Just taking away from the Champions League for now, what are your thoughts on the big Premier League clash?
Yeah, I mean, it's hugely exciting. I can't absolutely wait for it. I mean, you think with Firmino and Mane being rested today, and Fabinho was rested against Villa, I found out today actually because he was on a yellow card suspension. So Klopp just really wants him back for that. As for Ox starting, yeah, I'd probably play him, Fabinho, and maybe Wijnaldum in midfield. But then with their first choice front 3.
Is VAR going to go to anything for this? No. So Van der Beek didn't just knee.
On purpose, I missed that actually because I was chatting about City.
No, it might have been just an accident there. I just
But
thought.
it's a hugely exciting game. I don't think it's necessarily title deciding by any stretch, even if Liverpool win it. But 9 points is a massive margin going into a busy December. But we've seen that Liverpool have a crazy December schedule. They're playing 2 games on 2 continents in 3 days with the Club World Cup in there as well. I think they've got something like a game every 3 days in the whole of December. So get into that period with a healthy lead against Man City and it could be on. But yeah, what are you guys thinking of that game on Sunday? You probably can't think about it right now,
Well,
to be fair.
it's going to be a very good game, man.
I'm gonna jump in for
Ajax
a bit
have broken
because Mason Mount is coming off now with an injury, so this is going from bad to worse. Hudson-Odoi probably come on the left. Pulisic goes into the hole, but Mason Mount probably. Not that that's a good thing, him coming off with a dead leg, but would have been a candidate for a substitution anyway, right?
Yeah.
Not doing an awful lot.
But yeah, we are streaming that game on the Football Social on Sunday afternoon. I think McCubs, you're in attendance,
I'm on it myself and James Wayne, a Man City fan.
What are you making of that game, McCubs? How excited are you for that?
I'm really excited because I've decided that I don't really care who wins the league this year. Now I'm not really rooting for either of those sides, so I'm just going to be there as a neutral. Dave Jackson's going to be presenting, so that should be a laugh. So he's ready. But yeah, go check that out on FD on Sunday. It's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a good guest on as well. Not sure who it is yet.
If it's 5 out, I might actually.
You're walking out?
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
Really?
Well, it was good having you for so long, to be fair. You did
I'm
well
being
last
very
60
honest,
minutes.
Is this
I
gonna be
can't
like
really
Preston
do
on
this.
Nevermind the Buzzcock?
I don't really do this stuff, public humiliation, all that stuff.
Do you think it's been a humiliation? I feel like
It's the scoreline.
The scoreline is embarrassing, but like I don't think you've been humiliated.
Do you think it's more embarrassing chipping with 30 minutes to go when your team are losing?
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. How else can I word that?
Chipping?
How about you stay till the end? Yeah, chipping, leaving.
I didn't know what chipping
Yeah,
meant.
these
I think it's a Midlands.
You
word.
lived in Leicester for 3 years.
I like that though. Chipping.
Come on.
Chipping.
But guys, 30 minutes to go in this game. Chelsea 1, Ajax 4 at Stamford Bridge. Huge game. If you're joining us for the first time, please remember to subscribe to EuroFootball Daily and hit that notification bell. We do streams like this every single match week, and we tend to guarantee goals as well. 5 we've seen tonight. Huge
Come on.
last 30 for Chelsea. Callum Hudson on the ball for the first time.
Ref, you're not going to give anything.
Special mention to the way that Callum Hudson-Odoi took that ball there. You know, on the half turn.
Yeah.
Really nice, wasn't it?
Because I didn't see Mount do that all game, and I think Pulisic has maybe done it once, but he's just ready, man. He's just like a little heat-seeking missile.
On the topic of Hudson-Odoi, Hammer, we've seen him come in for a bit of stick in recent weeks, pretty outrageously on Twitter at least.
What for?
For below par performances, which I think is really harsh. I was going to ask you what you thought of that, but I assume you think it's ridiculous too, probably.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to profess to like having unpicked his performances, but the kid's he needs time post injury, and
Still so young.
doesn't he already have a couple of assists in Europe to his name?
Yeah. A couple of assists for. I think he's got about 5 in all competitions. I think he's doing absolutely fine considering he's coming back from the minute.
It's the energy off the ball.
Here we go, Callum.
Yeah, because I remember
That's the problem.
in the return fixture of this is what I'm trying to say.
Oh! Yes! Or is it offside?
4-2.
No, it's not.
Big goal from
Come on,
mate.
Come on! And that's Hudson-Odoi switching the ball to Willian. That's the first overload in one
There's
situation
nobody
we've seen.
celebrating until I see this video.
He's doing that to the fans.
come
He's doing that to
on.
the fans. He's been given the all clear.
No, I need to see
We've got the
replay.
4-2 here. 6
Oh,
goals.
my
Talk
knee.
us through it, Oba.
Willian out wide. Who's he? Pulisic again. Beating.
That's a great.
Oh,
touch from
yes, he's
Tammy.
offside.
Oh no.
Is he?
Is he?
offside.
I think he might be level.
No, he's
Not
not.
when it comes off Tammy. Or is he?
Yeah, I think he
no.
might be level, or maybe it hurts.
Is that a Tammy assist? Tammy looks straight at the linesman, by the way.
Would that be going in off Tammy anyway?
Or did it come off the defender?
No, it's Tammy.
I think it's definitely
It was
Tammy.
It was Tammy.
Oh no, we might see this goal disallowed. We're very excited that it was 4-2 to Ajax, but
In off the studs.
in off the studs of Cesar Azpilicueta. But it looks like it might be overturned,
I
lads.
think it might be.
I feel like it was maybe just
Marginally.
offside.
A
Yeah, I think it was
toe.
pretty tight.
When you see the centre forward look up, like, oh,
He's given it.
Instantly.
is it a
He's
goal?
given it.
Given it.
Yeah, it was. It was offside.
No,
No,
It's offside.
no, it wasn't.
he's given.
What?
4-2.
Been given.
Oh,
4-2.
What?
We've just tuned in when Ajax had the ball just about where.
Yeah, that was very
Very
weird
strange.
coverage. But
Where Chelsea
it's
scored,
now
right, okay.
4-2. Huge final 27 minutes at Stamford Bridge. 4-2. What a highly entertaining game we've seen.
Go on, Georgie.
Ajax back
Bust
on the
it
attack
up.
now with Quincy Promes. Oh, this
The
game
ankle-
has been breathless.
The angle, even, not ankle. The angle must have been
Pulisic again.
quite deceiving there then.
Yeah.
Because I had a little bit of a gut feeling that was going to be disallowed, but delighted it's not because it means we have a competition on our hands for the next 20 minutes. But Pulisic in that number 10 position, we might see a better final ball now to Tammy Abraham.
For real, man.
He has been phenomenal last few games.
so
Pulisic.
good, man.
And that
He
was
is.
awful.
He is
It
so
all started with that
good.
impact we saw against Ajax. Came on, really took confidence from
Yeah,
that. Then it
yeah.
was at the hat trick against Burnley. Very good performance against Watford. Christian Pulisic is playing the best I've ever seen him play in these last few games, and he's been the key man for Chelsea tonight, alongside Kovacic, who has been awesome in midfield as well. But you just got to shore up at the back. Like, we cannot see you concede a 5th goal at home. I know some of them are unfortunate, but 5 goals. 4 goals so far, but it just wouldn't be on at all.
Oh, bro, he was going line for you. Oh, he's used his left.
You've got
Well
to just go for it
played.
at this stage, though. You're 2 goals.
Oh! Okay, I got really excited.
Oh, but I know
It stayed on. It stayed on.
Oh, it did. It pulled it off.
Wow, that's going to be a
I hear you.
highlight.
Last 15 minutes, we're seeing 6 shots for Chelsea to 1 from Ajax. 59% of the ball from this Chelsea side in the last 15 minutes
Ref,
against
thank you.
Ajax. That's quite incredible. This would be Ajax's just their 2nd loss of the season in 18 games with both of them. What am I talking about? If the comeback was on, that would be anyway. Just to completely ignore what I just said. I'm getting overexcited with 25 minutes to go.
Come on, boys.
Oh,
Come
what
on.
have
Let's
we
get one.
seen?
Let's get one in the next 5. Let's get one in the next 5. We
This is
can
what
do
the
this.
champion. This is what the
We can do
Champions
this.
League's all about. That's
We
what
can
I'm
do
gonna
this.
say.
Comebacks.
We can do this.
Glory.
Yeah, goals.
One more.
Drama.
So much drama. McCubs, what are they saying in the comment section?
Well, apparently Inter Milan are 2-2 now.
Oh my days, swear down.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently that's according to
Dortmund.
a Boogie fan. Don't know whether not confirmed. And also, no, I had 2 confirmations of that, so that's happening.
Look, it's the
And
night of
someone
the
else
comebacks.
has
It's the
asked
night of the comebacks.
actually about Donny van der Beek, obviously the goal scorer before Azpilicueta.
Go on.
Oh.
Unfortunate.
I think that is a corner.
Oh, Tammy.
Driving it. Yeah, talk us through it, Albert. What we're going to
Willian came in off the right. Jorginho shot cross, and then Tammy just
That
couldn't.
is a corner, isn't it?
No, I don't think it
given.
is. I don't think it is.
Should have been.
Tammy couldn't get a foot on it. Oh, come on,
Sorry,
boys.
McCubs. What was that?
So Joseph Cook was saying.
All right, Joe.
He is saying, shout out to Joseph Cook. He says, I think Donny van der Beek is a good answer for Man United's midfield problem. What do you reckon?
Ooh, I mean, McCubs is our resident Man United fan. What do you think about this?
It's difficult. I think he'd be a good addition for almost any like 3-man midfield. However,
well played, Reece.
I think what
Ref,
United probably
agreed.
need is a real fixer, and I don't know whether Donny
That
van der Beek
holding presence.
actually fixes it. Obviously, Donny van der Beek isn't a DM. He's more of a box-to-box man, and he is good box-to-box man. But I think what United need to do first is get in a very proven DM who's either got Premier League experience or experience at the top of the European game. Indeed, he is obviously the favourite kind of most United fans, and I'm in the same boat. So I think they need to do that first, and then think about getting someone who's going to be more useful in a variety of areas as
Well
Van der Beek
played,
is. But then
Tammy. Well
equally,
played.
then he's not necessarily the best creator, and we probably could do with the creator in the
Yeah.
midfield as well. So I don't know whether he is
Nice,
necessarily
Tammy.
the best fit for United.
For me, he-
Come on,
But-
come on.
Go on, Hudson Odoi.
But he wouldn't be. but he-
handball.
For me, he wouldn't be in my top like 4.
Oh, it's a red card.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness,
Drama!
red card.
Drama. Is that Blind? Is that for
It's
Blind?
blind. It's blind.
Oh my god.
What's going on?
As soon as Blin got his second yellow, there, Tammy was straight.
Sorry,
off.
I was talking about
Wow.
Man United's midfielders. I didn't even watch that.
What
you
is
said
going
yellow
on?
card.
4.
It was Tammy Abraham went to play
Filthy
a
challenge.
loose ball out wide. Daley Blind is late and he gets probably more ankle than ball. It looks a little bit nasty, not necessarily vicious. I think Blind is just a generally slow footballer, isn't he? And that's his second yellow. And
Wow.
Chelsea, 20 minutes to go in the ascendancy. People like Hudson Odoi making a real difference.
I think that's very harsh.
Does that feel
Oh
a
no,
bit-
that's what
Yeah,
it is.
that's
Oh,
what it is.
right, I see.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
But I didn't see a yellow come out. Did he just get a straight
Yeah,
red for
no,
that?
no,
he
yellow
got
came
yellow,
out.
Did it actually come out? Okay.
That's just late. That's just silly.
I don't think.
No, it's
No,
bad. It's a bad
it's
challenge.
a yellow. It's a yellow. It's a yellow. It's a yellow.
Oh, Veltman's
Oh, Veltman getting booked as well
they're
for
all bloody getting
dissent.
booked. He's
Oh
going
no!
to get a second
Is
red.
Veltman getting
He's
sent
a-
off as
Oh!
well? Double red!
Oh,
2 centre halves gone for
come
Ajax.
on, boys!
What have we just seen?
Come on, let's go.
Oh
Let's
my
lift it
God.
now.
Blind
Let's lift it.
Blind
Oh
gets,
my God.
Blind gets
What
a
am I
second
seeing?
yellow for a challenge.
Ajax
Is it a
down to
10?
9.
What's going on?
Veltman.
What am I
Veltman then
seeing?
gets sent
It's
off
not
for
a
dissent.
No, but why is Jorginho holding the ball by the penalty spot then? What's going
Veltman
on,
doing?
fam?
Wait, did Veltman not get sent off? Maybe it was the replay of the first one, or is he being sent
No,
off?
no. I
Did
think
he handball
He
it?
definitely got the card out twice.
Did he handball it though? Because when Hudson Odoi went to hit the ball,
No,
the game just stopped.
It must have been for dissent.
No, because the game just stopped though.
Veltman's
Veltman's
gone as
off.
well.
He's
He's
off.
off. Cheerio,
Oh my
cheerio,
God.
cheerio, cheerio, cheerio,
full Brexit.
cheerio. 9 men, Ajax. I love it. 4-2. What a game.
Wait, it's a pen. I'm telling you.
Why is it a pen?
Oh,
was
it's a
that
handball.
Oh, so the game.
Oh my god!
That's what I'm saying. It touched his hand.
So he paused the game to go back to send off Blind,
that's hard.
and
It's
then
not.
That's hot. A
Does
red
both.
card
Remember what
there.
they, no, but remember what they said.
Oh, it's a definite handball, though.
Giving him a yellow there is harsh, yeah. But the blind red's calm.
Was Veltman already on a yellow?
Yeah, he was on a yellow.
so it's.
What's
so
going on? They've given the penalty in the first instance and then also sent off.
So I
Blind for
think
the
what he
earlier
did, he was
challenge.
like, pause.
I
You're going
cannot
off for
believe
that
this.
yellow, and you are going off for another yellow for that handball, and it's a penalty.
but-
I don't think that's fair though.
No, but
is that within the rules of the game?
if he stops the game to book Daley Blind, then surely the handball is
done,
what happens
yeah.
on advantage? I don't know. Can you do 2 bad fouls?
ineligible.
I don't know. I don't know.
Not when the I don't think in the handball.
Unless the Chelsea take a quick free kick.
Lads,
that's yeah, mate. Yeah.
Come
Yellow-
on,
yellow card,
let's
quick
go.
free kick,
Come
handball.
on, Georgie.
That's-
I
yeah,
need this
that's-
in.
let
would
us
make
know in
sense,
the
that
comments
would
below
make
whether
sense.
that's
They-
legit. I think it probably is.
They
But
weren't covering it that extensively on TV. So
all we know for sure is 20 minutes to go. It's 4-2 Ajax, but Chelsea, with
Jorginho,
Jorginho having
man.
have a chance to go at 4-3.
This is on, lads. This
Here
is
we go.
on.
The comeback is on. Jorginho steps up.
Oh, come on!
Oh my
Get the
God.
ball! Let's go!
Hey,
Let's go!
Have
I said-
Have you ever
I
seen a
said-
game where the two
Come
centre
on,
halves,
Chels.
the two centre halves have been sent off within the
That's
space
mad.
of 30
That's
seconds?
mad.
One attack.
Champions League Knights, CO Knights, let's go!
Okay,
Go back.
Me up.
That is great work from Tammy
Come
Abraham to
on.
kick it into Veltman's arm because he's managed to
No,
get
it
him
was-
sent
it
off
was-
as
it
well.
was- It was Hudson Odoi.
It was
He
Hudson
worked-
Odoi.
he worked kick. He was trying to bend it.
Oh, I'm
Trying to
sure,
bend
I'm
it.
sure.
I don't
I'm
think that
sure,
gets him sent off though. I think it is the dissent.
Descent after.
I think it's
yeah,
a descent.
Descent after.
It's what?
Oh,
But then that would have to be.
Ah,
I'm not sure if
Georgie.
Veltman was booked beforehand. Like if
No,
if
so
it's a
still.
second yellow, okay, that's just about justifiable. But if he concedes a penalty, it's not a yellow, and then he's sent off for dissent.
But I don't know.
No,
whether-
it's
do you
second
get,
yellow,
do you
second
get
yellow.
yellows for conceding
so
a
not
handball?
sent
Oh,
straight off, but I
right,
mean
yeah.
then given a second yellow.
I
card,
don't know.
so
Whether, do you
then
get a yellow
that's
card
stupid.
for conceding a penalty via handball? I don't know whether you actually do.
Depends whether they think
Especially if
it's
the ball's
deliberate.
been kicked. Yeah, if it's not
Yeah,
deliberate.
yeah.
So I think he's been given that for dissent.
Was that outside his natural silhouette?
Okay, so
the hand?
the
No,
guy
but
coming
if
on
the ball
now
touches
is a
the
guy
hand
called
in the
Per.
penalty,
Yes, a penalty.
Guy coming on now is a guy called Per Schurz. He's like the 18-year-old centre back. He's the next Delict supposedly.
We'll see about that.
Amazing ball playing centre back. But I think this is his Champions League debut. He's barely played for Ajax in the Eredivisie. Huge occasion. And then we got Alvarez coming on as well to go at the back.
Ziyech.
Don't know who's just gone off. Who went off? Ziyech and David Neres.
Van der Sar is looking perplexed in the stands. By the way.
What a
Director.
game! 7 goals,
cannot
2 red
believe
cards.
this.
Massive opportunity for Chelsea here. Surely, you got to just go. You just got to go all out.
It's crazy.
We could
Sendings off.
we could see the comeback of all comebacks. Let's go. Come on.
Come on,
It would
boys.
not be the comeback of all comebacks now they've had 2 men sent off. If you don't score a fourth, that's pathetic.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
This is a
because at the
training
end of the day-
exercise now. 11 versus
Hey!
9.
I still think with 4-1 down, it'd be. I know it does change it. Those 2 red cards,
No,
but
but
Two penalties
at
as
the end
well.
of the day,
Yeah,
they
true.
scored,
But they scored
2
2
own
own
goals,
goals.
bro.
This
We
has
did
been-
not deserve this.
How has this been such a high scoring game without being that high quality?
I know.
Maybe we're
Well,
just
it's
not
had its
that
moments, to
good,
be
you
fair.
know?
I think like Ziyech put in some great moments. I think Kovacic has as well. Some of Tammy Abraham's runs have been really
2 own
good.
goals, 2
But
points. Wow.
If
2
you've
sends
just
off.
joined us, 18 minutes to go. It's 4-3 to Ajax, but they're down to 9 men. And if you've just joined us, remember to subscribe to EuroFootball Daily and hit that notification bell because we have pure, unadulterated drama coming at you for the next 17 minutes, starting with this
was gonna say
Willian
Amanda.
corner. Here we go.
Come on, Willian.
Can it go? Oh, he's in the ball!
What a generational talent! He's a generational talent! Wigan's finest! Come on!
Let's go.
They said he couldn't do it on the big stage.
See you nights. See you
Oh my God,
nights.
Zach's on the TV. Zach's there. Zach's on the pitch. Zach was part of the bloody.
Oh my goodness! Someone has just turned the drama dial up to 1,000. What is going on in this game?
Oh my God, look
Talk
at
us
that.
through it. So,
Oh my
that
goodness,
Zuma hits the
Zuma.
bar.
Great
comes to Reece
strike.
James.
You know what's so
Oh,
mad? I was going
God.
to say he's going to get the next assist, but he got the next goal. My guy.
Check out this for a pure
Bang!
strike as
Pure.
well. Bam!
Bam, he made the change.
Fantastic finish from
Oh,
James.
look at the movement. He drops off. He's dropping. Seize
Rebound!
it.
Bam! Bottom left.
Hey,
Corner.
you know
Let's
when
go.
you know when Temps clips that up, people are going to think I think Reece James is the best right back that's ever lived. So
Generational talent.
For all you guys watching, sorry, we probably burst your eardrums, but I've just never seen it. Oh, they're on the attack again. They are playing against 9 men, but
Come
this has
on,
been
boys.
such a good game. 16 minutes to go. If you haven't committed to us yet, please subscribe to EuroFootball Daily.
committed. That sounds very serious.
Yeah, please commit to us. I've got commitment issues.
In my vein, let's go.
I'm
Let's go.
so
man.
Imagine if this was
I'm
5-4
so
to
happy
Chelsea.
there's 20 minutes
I
left.
said, when I said we're going to come back, man, they were laughing. Ha ha. Look at us now. Look at us now. We need
You
one
also said you
more.
were going to leave.
McMuggin as well. Just
You've been done.
McMuggin with a 6-1 prediction. Blimey.
I'm feeling very
Beat him.
stupid now.
Did I
Beat him.
I-
Oh!
I feel like
that went supersonic for a second.
This is now just like, what do I do now?
Oh,
What
I've
do
got
they
some
actually do
acid
with 9 men?
reflux. I need a Rennie, man. I need a Rennie.
Oh my goodness.
I
Finally. Look at this
think
from
when-
William.
when this-
Everyone's at it now.
When
Bam.
there's been 2 red cards, I think all predictions go out the window,
Yeah.
right? Like this is just.
Oh,
What do-
come
what
on.
do I
You guys
actually
weren't
do?
believers.
What's their game plan now though, Ajax? With 9 men against like a very
They
far
can't.
Chelsea attack.
They've
What
got to
can
play
they
out
even
for.
do?
They've got to play out for a
If
point.
they win 5-4.
They've got to play out for a
Ajax.
point.
Ajax.
They can't.
Not
You
even-
can't.
oh, you gotta
Surely they can't.
Red.
They can't play their usual style. They can't dominate territory. Or I mean, it's
got
going to
a
have to be
free kick
set
now, though.
pieces. I mean, I think
Ooh,
I just get
that's
all
it.
9 behind the ball. You know, shut up shop. 1 point away from home, they'll be fine
If
with
they
that.
dare score this free kick, I'm going to lose it.
Chelsea now top of the group
Vincent
on head to
Promes.
head.
But think how unbearable the whole Lampard instills this belief brigade are going to be after this game.
What
though.
do you mean it's still a
Chelsea,
brigade?
Chelsea.
This is
God.
what it is where it is, bro.
I-
It is where it is.
British,
He made the change at
gritty,
half time.
For all
And
that,
he changed the game.
yeah, for all that, I do think the first 20 minutes of that second half, they
Oh,
completely
God,
dominated.
please.
Come on,
And yeah,
Promise.
things have
You
gone
imagine-
their way, but
just over. Quincy!
Did that come off someone? I think that's a
anyone
corner.
else's heart going into like cardiac arrest, or is it just me? I'm getting
feeling
like
very calm.
palpitation.
Being
I
very,
am
very
our
calm.
floor's first aider.
Yeah, please. I mean, you think
yeah,
I
you
might
are.
need to do some CPR on me in a
Never went to
second.
train,
Seriously.
so.
I don't know. There's something about the Champions League. It
Wait,
really
did
gets
Ziyech go
me.
off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
Ziyech's
good-
off.
that's
I think
good.
Did Neres go off as well when they put on their
Neres
second.
is on.
Neres is still on. Okay.
Alright, boys,
sure.
do not
Or maybe he's
let
not.
them score
I
for
think he
us.
did go off actually.
We should
Before-
probably
before
have
the-
like a, for future streams, just like a little iPad of the game, like, shouldn't we? Like
That's a good idea. Of
like,
the stats.
Yeah,
do
the
you mean?
cards, updates, subs.
Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
You know, should improve matters.
Here we go.
Smash it.
Oh,
Willian scored an own goal there.
Go hold it, ref.
I'm
in his
fully
back.
on the Chelsea
And
train. on
just
this
to
one.
just to make it even more of a Champions League night, we've got Solskjaer
Go on,
1999 in the comments saying football bloody hell.
Yes,
Great.
Solskjaer.
This is
Couldn't
it.
agree
Great.
more,
This is
Ollie.
it. Hey, this is it.
Homage
This is it.
to the greatest night of all time.
Oh,
Woo!
big league
Oh,
there. But
Fully, don't do too much.
McCubs, that's a good point though. What are the people saying in the comments?
People are just going absolutely bonkers in the comments. We've got Kingsley saying the Stamford Bridge, we can do it again.
Come on, we
Minnie
can,
Thomas,
Kingsley.
Minnie
We
Thomas
can,
saying
Kingsley.
in capitals, mad. We've got people calling it 5-4 to Chelsea.
Here we go. Oh,
Where's the ball?
Where's the ball?
What's going on?
That hit someone's hand.
Totti! Goal! Oh! He's John Terry!
He's not finished. Who said he was finished?
Two
goals for
Let's
Azpi.
go.
Oh my God.
Azpi,
Captain Azpi.
legend, captain, leader, legend. Man them doubted. Man them doubted. Now look. Now look.
Lampard's not even celebrating. He just took some water from his bottle.
Oh my
What
days.
is gone on
And-
in
Wow.
And
Oh
and
my
he's
days.
this
Yeah,
is-
look at your face, then hug.
He's got his
Smile
top
no
off.
more.
Chelsea
Get
fans,
your
they got their
top for
moves
the
out.
lads.
both the greatest right backs in the world have scored tonight. What a time to be alive.
Oh, let's talk us through this.
What was
Ollie.
the
Oh
offside
my
then?
days,
No, it
what a
wasn't.
flick from Hudson-Odoi. Backheeled it to Azpi on the left side.
Check out
So-
this from their central back though. Look at this commitment. Getting
Jorginho.
it.
Yeah.
Bam.
Oh, that's good.
Azpi. Quality,
beautiful.
right place, right time,
You know what? If there's
fam.
one player you don't want to play against
Who is it? Alvarez coming acroross.
with 9 men. Like,
No, I think
Oi.
it's Maz
Hudson-Odoi is going to take
Yeah,
the piss down there.
This is what we needed.
5-4.
Inject it, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Fair play, Sam.
4-1
Fair play. I'm
down.
happy
It's been an
I'm happy
absolute
for you.
honour to
VAR?
watch this game.
What?
No, handball.
No more drama. No
oh
more drama.
no.
Was it
no,
a penalty,
could have
though?
been ruled out. Oh, Azpi, don't act like you don't care. You're gutted.
He literally
VAR.
ripped off the captain's armband, like Xhaka, in that celebration.
handball?
He's gone
Where?
off the pitch.
No goal.
No goal. Guillaume Dolphant.
No.
Guillaume
fine.
Dolphant.
That's
Is
fine.
that
handball in
that's
Dutch.
fine. Fair play. Well done for them to.
Oh, we are back to 4-4
Wow.
with
That's
12
fine.
minutes
I
to
thought
go.
that was it, man.
That's fine. That's fine.
Why?
Here, it must be on Tammy. I think it's on Tammy.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so harsh, isn't
Are
it?
you-
That's
wait,
so harsh.
are you actually being serious?
But that's
right
the
now?
new rules. That
Yeah,
is
it's
the new rules.
rules.
It's so harsh.
If it
but that is the
touches
new
your
rules.
arm at any point during build-up, it's disallowed. It's what happened in the City. Was it West Ham game early on in the season?
Does any
yeah,
Ajax
City
player
Tottenham
call
game
for
as well.
that?
Nah, because it's not a handball, is it? But it
Oh.
hits the
Oh,
hand in the
yeah,
build-up.
yeah.
Oh, only
Alright,
one of
say
the
that
great...
VAR.
What's Kepa doing there?
best moment of the game.
my
to take
goodness.
part.
Yeah.
So,
Right, guys, 11 minutes of this game
That's
to go. If you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe to Eurofootball Daily. Hit that notification bell to never miss a video. We are all going absolutely berserk here.
Are
It's
you
just been the
joking?
most incredible game, weirdest game as well. Like, so much has gone on. I don't know how we're
I
going to
can't remember
unpick
what
this on
happened in the
UCL
first half.
Review tomorrow. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what's happened, but yeah. 9 men versus 11 men, 4 all, 10 minutes to
Another-
go. Absolutely mental.
So another big comeback tonight. Zeus has just reported Dortmund ahead.
Wow.
3-2.
Ooh, Lucien
Back from
Favre's
back
men.
from 2-0. Fair enough.
I just read a factor on a chapter on Favre in his book, and do you know what? He's a really interesting bloke.
Yeah.
And we always make him out to be a really boring conservative tactician, and he's not. So I just want to clarify that now.
Fair.
And we'll be giving him some good coverage tomorrow
It's
if
always
they win this
it's
game.
always good to admit if you've spoke ill of someone in the past. And,
Yeah.
become more.
I think maybe just heard Pat say it once with like a resounding confidence, like he'd been embedded with him for like 12 months.
Pat says that with everything.
Yeah, so he's interesting bloke. Anyway, moving on. Because what's more interesting in this game at the moment? Nothing. All right.
This is where it's at right now
I'm
on
so-
Eurofootball
It's
Daily
chaos.
for Total
Like,
Football.
I'm so angry right now, but
Why?
I'm still so happy.
Why are you angry?
But I'm so angry.
Mate, the second half's been awesome.
Fam, I
Like-
can't. Fam, we should be
That
ahead.
goal, though, that
you
goal.
can't tell
Come
me because it touched.
Oh, the decision. Sorry, I see what you mean.
That is the rule. That is the rules, though. Now
The rules are the rules.
I personally don't agree with it. But it is just what it is.
I know, but
like-
you cannot tell me that you're not going to get another chance against 9 men with
But
at
that's
least
not the
10 minutes to
point,
go.
Fam. I've lifted up your leg, bro.
You can lift it again.
Oh, I'm not
Seriously,
doing
my
that
legs.
again.
You didn't play the guitar on it, though.
My leg's always there for you.
That'll still make it to FD clips, all right? It's just
Yeah.
not completely wasted.
Yeah, this will do
It's
wonders
not
for your
about that,
social media
man.
career. Come on.
Oh,
Oh.
McCubs.
Hey, just calm.
Do you guys
Okay.
think that I know that's a free kick because it's touched the hand, but if it's a defender there, it's instantly a penalty. Do you not think that balances things out?
Yeah, it does. It does. That's why I can't really
but
be
is it,
too
but is it
mad.
instantly a penalty? if
Yeah,
it's
and you,
defender?
to be
Even
fair,
if it's-
you
even
got
if
a
it's
penalty.
like
Yeah,
that?
we got a
You
pen
got
the
a
same
penalty
way.
for handball, which probably wouldn't have. No, because the referee did spot that originally. Actually, I don't think it
Yeah,
went
no,
to
I
VAR.
think that was a handball.
You know the unnatural silhouette. Just because I've got caught up in the hoi polloi, does that still apply, or is it a handball, whatever?
Any
now?
instance.
Any
At least in
incident
the
it
Premier
is,
League, I know that
Get
if it just
him,
hits
get
any
him.
attacker in the arm,
Get him.
There you go.
it cannot be.
Hudson
Go on,
Odoi
Hudson Odoi.
is gonna
You might as well shoot.
decide this. Hudson Odoi, I think.
Oi.
Oh,
But yeah.
that was great. Great
Oh,
effort
my
from William. Right idea. So,
days.
I do feel like a bit of pace has been like Chelsea look a bit more deflated than they were. And like Ajax seem a bit buoyed by that decision. Like before, it
no
just felt
doubt.
like Chelsea were just gonna,
Matter of time.
yeah. Now
matter of
it
time.
doesn't feel like feels
Plenty
like
more,
things
plenty
are
more
taken
time to go. I mean, with all the
Sure.
VAR, with all the sending off as well, I reckon about 5 minutes of stoppage time.
We've got 10 minutes
Yeah.
to really want.
So there's a long way to go. I think Chelsea are definitely going to have a few more
Took
chances.
off the armband. Nah, this VAR thing is ruining the game.
Oh.
Not gonna know
McCubs,
anymore.
let's have another question as we enter the final sort of 10 or so minutes.
I mean, people are still going crazy in the comments.
Are they
There's not-
angry at VAR?
There's all sorts, but
Oh.
here we go.
Oh, just wide from Tammy.
So we've actually gone back to the Twitter questions because no one, quite rightly, no one is really able to.
Fair enough. We've been very
articulate a
distracted as
question
well.
right now, and it actually comes from the one and only Michelle Obama, who's now following us on Twitter.
Big up, Michelle.
She has asked, what would you rank, or who would you rank as the best 5 teams of the decade? So, for example, Real Madrid 2014,
Yeah.
Barcelona 2011. So, a specific team in a specific season.
That's so juicy. Okay.
Too much thinking, man.
Okay, I'll go with
quite a lot of
I'll
thinking.
go because I feel like I know my number 1 is going to be Pep's 100-point City team.
Not your number one over
That's
the Barca
that's my
sides.
number 1 over the
Really?
Barcelona side,
Wow.
and then I'll go Pep's of the decade, Pep's 2011 side, and then maybe I actually don't really rate the Real Madrid sides that won the Champions League just because they could never really win. I think they only won one league title, those 3.
Yeah, true.
So I'd probably go another Barcelona side, maybe Luis Enrique's side of Messi, Neymar, Suarez as my number 3.
2015. Yeah.
But yeah, those would be my 3. McCubs, I imagine as our resident sort of semi-Barca fan, you're probably
Yeah.
in disagreement.
No, I think Pep's 2011 for sure. I'd rate them higher than the Centurions. I also think the Jupp Heynckes Bayern side of 2013 thought they were awesome.
Yeah, probably
Like,
don't get the credit they deserve.
Taking apart Barca 7-0 in that semi-final, they just like
Good
Robben and
Barcelona
Ribery
side as
at
well.
their peak.
Was
Like,
that
yeah, unreal.
whose Barca side? What was that? Was that Tito's? or
It was
Pep's?
Tito's. Yeah. It was just after Pep left. I'm trying to think of others. Obviously that Man City side have to be one of the best as well. I don't know what you.
Crazy
you
that I
say,
picked
Hamill. Any other
3,
shouts?
3 managed by Pep.
I'm not great at attributing a date to a team. Actually, I think that's just because I've stopped scripting as many
Fair.
things. But yeah, Pep's Centurions. I mean, Liverpool last year are pretty darn entertaining. But yeah, I think you've covered all the best ones.
I mean, does
Could you talk about
Ancelotti's double winning side, does that count as the decade?
given that Juventus have
yeah,
also
yeah.
I think they'd be 4th or 5th for me.
given Juventus have also won 7 titles in
That's
a
the
row,
thing, I
it's
think
weird to think that none of their sides make it.
Yeah, we kind of have to give them a shout. They make
Hey,
two Champions
what
League
is
finals
going
as well.
on?
Oh my god.
Could this
No,
be
wait.
it?
Arriving, no one.
Get it over to him.
I mean, they've only got 9 men to be fair.
Oh, what a save from Kepa. We've lambasted him all game, but that's a world-class
panic
save
buy.
from Alvarez down to his left. Oba's heart was in his mouth. What an effort this was. On the turn, bam. Oh, it's actually quite savable.
Straight
Yeah,
on.
it's very
In retrospect,
both hands
sorry,
of it.
camera angle made it look better, but it's still.
If he doesn't save that, you bring back Ross Turnbull, mate.
It's a good save nonetheless. Ajax have a corner with 5 minutes to go. 4-4 against Chelsea.
I feel sick.
I feel sick as well. This game has been exhausting.
Oh, what?
Just about away.
Joseph Cook saying Inter Milan side from 09-10. But we've got all the Mourinho sides. His Real Madrid sides were pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Milan.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I think credit to this Inter Milan side. They probably weren't
Treble winners.
the most entertaining
His
side.
second stint back
Treble
at
winners,
Chelsea, didn't they get when
But-
they won the league in the second year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Fairly
very good.
convincing, wasn't it?
They
I
also
really liked Conte's first year. at
his
Chelsea as
Inter
well.
Milan
That was a good
side
team.
did beat Barcelona on the way to the final. I think it was
Was that
1-0
Kovacic?
over
I,
two
I would
legs.
I would actually put Mourinho's Inter in there. Yeah.
In your top three.
Wait, he's
But
going
no,
for the win.
top five.
Okay, top five.
So
Yeah.
who's Batshuayi come on for?
Kovac.
Kovac, but
No, it's got to be done, man.
He's tired.
He did it the last game.
Kovacic is absolutely. Oh my days.
if he's offside, I'm gonna. Oh my.
He is
days.
offside. Yeah.
So miles off. He's miles offside.
Looks in good shape, though.
Right. 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes of regular time to go. We don't know what injury time is. Chelsea still 4-4 against Ajax. 9 men Ajax. It's been an absolute mental second half. If you're joining us for the first time, please remember to subscribe to EuroFootball Daily and hit that notification bell so you never miss an EFD Total Football live stream. McCubs, any other brain teasers that you've got in there?
No brain teasers right now, but someone is saying in the comments, Abdullahi.
Hey,
Sorry
mate.
if I butchered your name there. But he's apparently. I'm
God,
just
oh
using
God.
him as the source here.
Promise.
Quincy Promise.
Okay, let's just see what happens here. Okay.
Wasted ball.
So annoying.
But he's saying that apparently UEFA are saying that the red card,
Just give it to him. Give it to him.
the red card for Veltman
Yeah.
was just for the ball hitting his hand.
What?
Apparently.
Straight red.
A straight
No,
red
straight
for a
red.
handball.
No, no.
Oh, Tammy, it's a
No.
Oh man!
So
no.
had he not
Second
already
yellow.
had he not had a yellow card already?
I think he must have had a yellow
He
already.
did.
So the second yellow was not for the descent, but just for the handball apparently. But I'm not. Yeah, can't confirm.
Can
that,
you
but that's
guys
what-
let
that's
us
what
know
people
in the
say.
comments because you got the benefit of being
Well,
able to check the
that's what
internet.
that's what he's
Do
saying.
you-
That's what he's
you know,
saying.
in previous instances, for example, Kimpembe or who was it, Musa Sissoko, giving that handball last year, did they get yellow carded? Because I've got a feeling that they didn't, but UEFA and you guys will probably know better than me. So let us know what is the protocol there. But
Go on,
Chelsea's
drive,
still
drive,
on the
drive.
attack. Do you think it's going to
Drive.
happen, Obba?
We have to. We have to.
It is 9 men. It is 9 men, crucially.
great
Batshuayi
for
on the
Batshuayi.
turn. Play it one.
Here we go.
Left. Oh.
That wasn't the best layoff from Tammy, to be fair.
At all. I
Must-
slightly wanted Tammy to come off. You know.
Really?
Yeah. Oi!
Batshuayi is working
I
hard up
must
front.
admit, Ajax, like in the last 5 minutes, have looked so much better than they were before. 20 minutes.
You
before.
go. You go.
Someone
Get your goal.
closed.
Oh,
that was in.
just
I
wide.
thought that was in.
Oh my days. I think Hudson-Odoi wins it back in midfield or someone doesn't pass it to him. He drives forward, back 30 yards
imagine?
out, tries to curl it bottom left. It was...
Oh, it's Tammy then.
On his right. Bang.
Oh,
Do you imagine if he'd done that? 18 years old.
That would have been a big moment. It still feel like there's plenty more opportunities in this game. Chelsea are creating at a regular amount, which you'd expect against 9 men. But I feel like if there's any side you don't want to play with 9
Give
men...
it to him. Look. Middle.
If there's
Madden.
any team you don't want to play with 9 men, it's probably Ajax. Like, they're so capable of holding on to the ball no matter how many players they have available. But they just...
Here we go, Bats!
Bats!
Oh, what
What
a
a
save from Onana!
Hey, save.
Wow.
No.
What's his
Oh,
name?
Bob, what is going on? Talk us through what is happening in the last few minutes.
Their centre back that just came on, left foot strike. It was a bit weak.
Oh,
I
great
can't lie.
I
it
love
was a
that
bit
turn.
weak.
I love that turn from Bats.
Yeah,
That's
it was
nice.
a great turn, but if he just
Doesn't
got any
quite
more,
catch
if he
it,
got any
yeah.
more in it, that's in.
That's a phenomenal save from Onana as well. Going back.
I don't know.
Really
I don't know if it's a phenomenal. man.
really
He
strong hand.
dribbled back to him, man.
But for him just to come on, that's come on. You got to give him. A
I
little
think
bit
he's
of
playing
time
well, yeah.
to find his rhythm. Oh God. Ajax. Quincy Promes still causing Chelsea all sorts of problems, and this is probably the most prominent performance I've seen from him against big European opposition
4 minutes.
in his whole
Thought it'd be
career.
longer than
How
that.
can it just be 4 minutes?
That is mad.
Are you joking?
Lamps is gutted. Look, he's saying.
Are you actually joking? There's
Wait.
been 2 red cards, a penalty, and you're gonna give 4 minutes.
He's laughing
That is
about
crazy.
it, but inside he must be absolutely devastated because 4 minutes. I feel like it is a bit of a joke.
And there's also been a lot of substitutions.
There's
isn't
been a
there?
lot of substitutions.
shouldn't
There's
there be
been
3?
VAR decisions left, right, centre. I think it should at least be 5 or 6.
What I don't get right, when VAR first came in at the World Cup, there was lots of added time because the people operating VAR were also keeping time. So it went to show how little added time is actually usually given because obviously the ref can't keep time so well. I don't know, like considering that there's at least been 4 minutes. if
Not just
more,
2 red
I
cards,
thought-
but a massive
surely that is on VAR. The people who are running
Yeah.
VAR
Let's get a
to
win.
calculate it properly.
like utter confusion about the Veltman red card that took at least a minute and a half to
Oh, my
resolve.
days.
Yeah, 5 lots of substitutions.
Reece.
we go.
Oh, heavy touch. Who was that?
That was a
Hooli.
really good,
Pulisic.
really good cut back there. From
He's
Reece.
so good at delivery. Give it back to him. You might as well
I feel
go
like
and
this
deliver
is
it
your
again.
answer.
Good ball.
Oh, he's just got too much
Tammy,
on that,
there's-
Tammy.
I
It's
don't
gone
know,
back
he's
to
had
where
about
it's
a few headers
I
delivered.
feel like it's not going to be his day, man. He's
He's
had
had a
like
few
5
headers, though.
He's
shots.
had a lot of headers, hasn't he, in that sort of 6-yard box. It's really nice. It's a nice ball again from Reece James. He has looked lively since he's come on.
His services look great. Yeah, I mean that was.
That was a tough chance as well, I think.
Oh, how did we go from 4-1 down to should be winning? This is madness.
Well, there was a couple of
We could do with
Reds.
one last late flurry, couldn't we, lads?
Yeah.
Just to get us on our feet again.
I feel like it is coming. I feel like there's going to be another chance, but it's whether they can take it.
There are a lot of people in the comments saying that Chelsea should really be winning against 9 men now. So
Yes.
Despite what do you make of that? Would you be disappointed if it just ends like this now,
Yes.
Sam?
Surely.
Disappointed is a mad word. Let's be honest, because
Go on, then, Cal.
It's too much.
we were 4-1 down.
Yeah.
Like, we were 4-1 down. Fair enough, they got 2 red cards, but at the same time, we put a lot of energy into like making it 4-4. We should be up. VAR did its job, but since then, it's kind of been a bit flat, man. I can't lie, that took a lot out of us.
Yeah, I feel like that sort of the elation of that celebration. It did take. I mean, it's taken a lot out of us as well. It is a bit weird over celebrating a goal and getting a takeaway. I can't even imagine what it'd be like for players.
Yeah, no, I'll throw up.
But
if it was
there's
on
a
the pitch.
good minute and a half left. There's a good minute and a half left, and I really believe that there's one more chance
There's
in
one
this.
more chance.
I feel like it could well be coming right now with Reece James on the
pitch,
right.
man, because he is one of the. Oh, look at that.
Okay,
that
wasn't a good moment. Okay.
That's Wigan quality. That.
We're really seesawing on
that's
the.
all
We're
right.
seesawing
He's
on
a
Reece.
player of the year. How about you have a bit of respect?
Onana made some good saves at crucial times.
Wait, Batshuayi is still on.
No, but he should have scored.
Mate, you
That was
remain.
a solid
He
effort.
made a good chance.
Look
for
at the
himself
positives. I know you're playing against 9 men right now, but Valencia, I believe they haven't changed it. They haven't brought it up on. They're still
there. It's 3-1,
losing.
I think.
To who?
I think to Valencia. Was it? Were they?
Oh
were they
right,
losing
sorry,
1-0?
they were losing, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think
Okay,
it's 3-1
Bas!
Valencia.
Oh, just
Let me
wide.
just double check.
Okay, well if that's the case, then
was
Valencia
it.
will be joint. Everyone will be on 7 points for bar Lille.
Listen, 2 own goals,
Yeah.
but 2 penalties for you. A draw is probably a fair result in this madness that has unfurled in front of us.
Yeah, Valencia have won. Are winning 4-1.
Gee, who scored for them?
So we've got Parejo opened
Legend.
the scoring 66 minutes. Then an own goal, Jeffrey Kondogbia in 84th minute, and Ferran Torres just scored.
I think Danny Parejo.
That's it. All over. 4-all
Wow.
between Chelsea and
said
Ajax at Stamford Bridge. What a game we have seen. Chelsea against 9-man Ajax at the end. Got their winner. It was ruled out by VAR. Highly disappointing. Oba, it's difficult to reflect on such a massive game in a moment like this, but how are you feeling?
I feel I'm kind of gutted. I can't lie, because that celebration for the final goal took a lot out of me.
Yeah.
Like, and to
Physically
see it
and
was,
mentally.
to see it was literally it touching his knuckle as his arm is literally down his side is kind of heart. My heart's hurting. But it's fine.
Fair.
It's fine. We got the point. We were 4-1 down, 4-4.
I feel,
It was a fair result.
I feel like in the cold light of day, in maybe 2 or 3 days' time, you'll be like, yeah, we got a point. Good result. We're 4-1 down. But right now, with the chances you had at the end, I agree with you. It's really disappointing from a Chelsea perspective right now. But I think longer term, this will be a good point earned considering where they were. You guys try and make sense of what have we just seen? That was crazy.
I don't really know, to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? Yeah, what a second half.
What a second
So,
half.
I mean, the
indeed.
first half was entertaining enough, but that was just... haven't seen a game that was just that ridiculously, Ajax were just awful for about a 10-minute period, and Chelsea just looked like they would just keep on scoring. You know, when you just see a defence completely collapse, and
Nice
obviously
from
they lost
Onana
their 2
there.
centre-backs.
Just like unlucky. Nice from Onana there, just saying unlucky to Azpilicueta about the goal.
Yeah.
I think just watching 2 teams that are probably better in attack, and they're both just catching each other in the transition all the time. Yeah, not a lot of defending sort of at the base of midfield.
No.
From either side in that second half, but more understandable from Ajax's perspective because what was it, 20 minutes with 10 men? 9 men, sorry.
Yeah.
Reece James is huge, man.
I feel like
he's an animal.
I feel like once again, like question marks maybe would be asked over like Chelsea's inability to the sort of standard of goals they conceded, particularly that Donny van de Beek goal. I thought was really sloppy, and I do think they concede a lot of good, high quality chances. And I know it's difficult because they didn't have Kante on the pitch today. They lacked a sort of midfield defensive presence, and then their finishing at the other end was slightly disjointed at times as well. Tammy Abraham missed a lot of good opportunities. But overall, I think a draw is probably a fair result in what we saw. McCubs, who would be your man of the match or outstanding candidates for it?
Really difficult. I think Kovacic does definitely stand out. Can't really look beyond him. I thought Reece James's impact in the second half though, really good.
It's really noticeable, wasn't it?
I think they it's clear that they probably should have started him. I'm definitely on the Reece James wagon after seeing his second half performance. But yeah, I'd give it to Kovacic, I think.
Fair. Hamel, are you in agreement, or do you think anyone else?
I'm just trying to work out a performance. Trying to unpick Chelsea's defensive performance. Sorry, obviously conceding two penalties, not great. But even before Ajax was sent off, yes, I mean, started the second half well, didn't they? It was just a flurry of attacks, and like I said, high entertainment, maybe a little bit low quality. We didn't see many like passing exchanges from Ajax. Both teams were a little bit more threatening down the flanks, just generally avoiding going for a very congested midfield. I guess if Chelsea kind of playing, you know, five men in midfield in the defensive transition, and Ajax are playing three in there. Maybe that's why they kept going super wide. But as we're seeing now, Group H, 3 teams on 7 points, so it leaves it all very finely poised.
Massive. Absolutely
wow,
massive.
I'm breathless, man.
Yeah, that was quite something. I thought Hakim Ziyech was particularly good with his delivery. I thought Quincy Promes led the line really well.
Yeah. Promes
I
was
thought
good.
Tadic was very quiet for his usual quality in the Champions League. And Donny van de Beek picked up some good areas, got his goal as well. I think Kovacic was probably the outstanding player. Callum Hudson-Odoi came on and had a big impact. Azpilicueta was pretty not at his best in the first half, finished very, very well. So lots of good candidates. Maybe not a out-and-out candidate for man of the match. I'd probably give it to Kovacic if I had to. But guys, we want to know your thoughts on it. We want to get a couple more questions before we wrap up. So fire them into McCubs. And we've got about 5 minutes left of that absolutely mental game, which leaves Group H all to play for, with Valencia beating Lille 3-1. McCubs, have you got any questions that have caught your eye?
I'm just gonna get some people, get a little comment in there to get the questions coming in.
I like it.
But people are saying,
or what are they? What are they thinking at least?
Well, obviously, the table is kind of poised there. We have got a couple of people asking who is going through from this group with 2 games left.
Massive.
You have to beat Valencia, man.
Yeah. I can't. Was your first game against Valencia? Was that in the Mestalla or was that?
No, home.
But one second. So you're saying that Ajax, Valencia will go through at the expense of Chelsea? Because Ajax are obviously top on goal difference.
I think Valencia will beat that Ajax side. If they're playing them, they're playing them.
Okay.
They'll beat that Ajax side.
So you've got Lille at home and Valencia in the Mestalla. You could beat Lille at home. Oh, you could win both, to be fair. It's so deadly, so evenly poised. I'm going to go that Chelsea and Ajax would go through.
That's what I think.
But I feel like Valencia could well as well. I'm very much sitting on the fence. Hamel, what do you reckon?
I mean, I think probably Ajax and Chelsea. Maybe I think Valencia are very beatable at the Mestalla. And I think that Chelsea, actually, if I recollect, were very unlucky to lose that game at home. This isn't the best Valencia side. Obviously, Marcelino's left now, so it's a little bit tumultuous there. Lille are the wild cards, aren't they? They've played Lille away and beat them, Sam?
Yeah, they did 2-1.
Yeah.
But it was, Lille put up a good fight. I think, the game against Valencia, I think that was the game that Barkley took the ball off Jorginho for a penalty late on.
Well, no, he's giving it as club penalty taker, wasn't it?
That was it, and then he missed it, which was slightly disappointing. So there was a big opportunity to at least draw that game. But yeah, it's going to be a hugely exciting end to Group H and around lots of the groups in Europe. McCubs, have you got another one?
It's got one guy, Daniel Hedge, has come in and has said, is Chelsea finally getting refereeing luck in the Champions League after all the UEFA loaner stuff? I think that's a bit of a stupid question.
Or
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what to say about that.
Can't lie. That 4 minutes was a bit nuts still.
Josh Tracy asking, is Victor Osimhen the next big thing?
I mean, he's started incredibly well at Lille. I mean, fair play to him because he was at Wolfsburg beforehand, got malaria. I think he broke his shoulder. I think he got an ACL injury. So things didn't really work out for him at Wolfsburg. Then went to Charleroi in Belgium, had a very good spell there. He's gone back to Lille, replacing, in that front line, replacing Rafa Leao mainly, but they've obviously lost Nicola Pepe as well. And he's playing really well so far. I haven't obviously seen his performance tonight, but fair play to him. And still so young. I think he's only 20. So, yeah, could be one to watch for the future. But I'm loath to put him as the next something at the moment. I always find it slightly annoying that we're always like, who's the next? Or, putting them up on a pedestal.
And there's a lot of young talent that has come through this season.
I mean, at Lille alone, there's like Jonathan Okone, who's playing very well.
Jonathan Bamba
as well. Benjamin Andre is playing very well there. So they've got a very good side. They've replaced like Thiago Mendes very well, Yusuf Kone as well. So fair play to Christophe Galtier, and they can cause any team in this group damage. So we shall see.
We've got another few people asking, where does this game compare with your Champions League kind of favourites from over the years? What would be your like favourite Champions League tie that you've kind of witnessed?
I remember might have been last year, Juventus versus Tottenham, where I really felt like that's when that campaign really began. Or was it the season before?
I think that was the year before, yeah.
Might have been the season before.
Juve Tottenham, when Juve beat them in the second round.
When they came from behind and Higuain... was that the group stage last year or no? It might have been the year before then. But I remember that being one of the games where I was just like, I love football. In the last couple of years,
I love this game.
Yeah, Higuain just scoring an absolute worldie as well. The Champions League is just consistently great,
amazing,
but it's great to see teams like Lille and not so much Valencia, but teams emerge like RB Salzburg and Lille, because it's very much kind of the same 16 who make it through, short of a Porto or something every year, isn't it? But it's nice to see some clubs who have been doing things differently really make an impact on the biggest stage.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think RB Salzburg, it'd be great if they could go the far, because Haaland looks like a really exciting proposition.
Yeah, exactly. They look really thrilling.
So many,
they do concede a few goals. But
what was the score with that tonight, by the way?
I'll get that up as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very lucky. Let alone in Champions League history, but on total football history, we covered Spurs versus City at the Etihad last year. We covered Spurs' comeback against Ajax in Amsterdam last year. So we've had some absolute thrillers, and we've had another thriller tonight. I don't think this will go down as one of my all-time greats, but it was highly entertaining. I think Hamill made the point halfway through that maybe like quality-wise, maybe not the highest, but in terms of like drama at both ends, I mean, you couldn't really ask for much more.
Yeah, no, I had everything.
Yeah, McCubbs, where do you think that what we just saw stands in your sort of
in terms of chaos, it's right up there, isn't it? It reminded me a little bit actually of the kind of final 10 minutes of the Barca PSG game, where it just looked like Chelsea could just like we're just going to keep on scoring with each attack, and that's kind of what happened in that Barca game when PSG just kind of capitulated defensively. I think just because it's a group stage game, you do get those kind of games in the group stage every now and then. So the stakes aren't quite as high, but in terms of drama, it's great. And great to witness it with such a passionate Chelsea fan as well.
No way.
You really made my night, Sam.
Yeah, especially when you threaten to leave on the hour mark. It comes nowhere near Tottenham Bayern in terms of quality, and now the Bayern manager Kovac has departed. 3 weeks after his team absolutely routed one of our finest. So, looking at the other results from tonight, any surprises? The unbeaten Benfica.
That's so big for Dortmund,
That's massive for Dortmund, isn't it? Massive comeback from Valencia as well. 1-0 down to win 4-1. Leipzig doing the job against Zenit. Lyon needed that win against Benfica. Really exciting. Big result for Liverpool as well, considering Napoli and Salzburg drew as well.
It's a really good result for Salzburg away from home.
Yeah, massive. Absolutely massive. And considering they stuck 3 past Liverpool at Anfield as well, I think that'll be a really tough proposition if anyone draws them in the last 16, should they go through. But guys, if you're joining us for the first time, please remember to subscribe to Eurofootball Daily. What a match we have seen tonight on Total Football. I think we might as well wrap up there, guys, because it's just been quite a night and we all need to recover because we have work tomorrow and our heart rates need to return to normal. Oba, thank you very much as ever.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Oh, I know you're gutted, man. What might have been? You could still go through. Hamill, pleasure as ever. McCubs, thank you very much.
Cheers, thanks for
Thank
having
you all very much for watching, and we will see you at the next game week for more Champions League action. Bye.